the session? Thank you. All right, terrific. So what I'd like to do is just, why don't we start with some introductions of our funders and our Exhale faculty, and we're going to do team introductions when we go around the room and do the team breakouts and presentations. That's probably the most efficient way to do it. And while you're all on your projects, you can introduce your team. But for now, let's introduce our funders, our Exhale faculty. I'll start. I'm Lisa Payne-Simon. I direct Exhale. I'm a partner with the Philanthropic Initiative, and we're part of the Boston Foundation. I'll turn it over to my colleague, Sharon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon. I am a program associate at the Philanthropic Initiative. I help Lisa with managing the Exhale program. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Sharon. And then why don't we go to Ken Genowick and our other funders who are present with us today. Ken, are you here?
I am. Thanks, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. Ken Genowick. I'm a senior program officer for caregiving at the Health Foundation for Western and Central New York. And we have the pleasure of partnering with our foundation partners, as well as Lisa and the rest of the team. So nice to, and go Bills.
And Sabres. Super. Misha, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Misha Stallworth-West. I'm a program officer with the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation. Just want to welcome you all to the learning community. Really excited to get this going.
Thanks, Misha. Chris Lemon, how about you?
Good morning, everyone. Christopher Lemon, Senior Community Investment Officer here at the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation. Excited to hear what everyone is able to share out today.
Thank you, Chris. Do we have any other folks from our three funders with us this morning? I want to say hi. Okay, let's turn to our faculty. Teresa, take it away.
Good morning. Could everybody imagine just how many Foresight profiles are on this call right now? I'm your friendly neighborhood creative problem solving and project management consultant. So it's been great to work with most of you these last couple of weeks, certainly this whole time, but these last couple of weeks to have a little bit of a laugh and a giggle as we learn a little bit more about ourselves and the composition of your teams. Great to have you all here.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Linda Weiss and your team, do you want to say a quick hello?
Sure. I'm Linda Weiss with the New York Academy of Medicine, and we are the evaluators. And I'm not, because there's so many people, I'm not sure who on my team is here, but possibly Maya Scherer, Lisa Fisher, and Sheba Daniel, which you'll all interact with at some point.
I just want to say I am here. It's Maya.
Oh, good.
Hi, Maya. Good morning.
Hi. Yeah, nice to see you all.
Hi, Linda. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sarah from Archangels, are you with us this morning?
I am. Great to see everybody.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Welcome. And then Shannon Vogel from Crowley Web Communications.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon with Crowley Web. We're a marketing agency in Buffalo, New York, and we had the opportunity to brand Exhale a year or so ago, and it's been wonderful. And just here to help relay some marketing information, I guess, inspiration or information.
Thank you so much, Shannon. And so Shannon and I will be jumping into the marketing component of our agenda today in just a minute. What I'd like to do first is walk through our agenda. Hang on one moment here. Can you see my slides here?
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect, thank you. So welcome to the learning community. So what we're going to do today is first dive into some nuts and bolts about Exhale communications and marketing. We're going to talk about use of the logo. We'll talk about press releases, a little bit of boilerplate language that we want you to use. We'll introduce that to you for press releases and for your web materials. And then, as Shannon just mentioned, she's going to offer some tips and strategies around marketing and outreach with caregiver audiences. So that'll be a quick blast through some do's and don'ts, tips and strategies for marketing. And then the majority of what we're going to be doing today is hearing from all of you. Really, we want to set the stage for this to be a learning community where we all know one another. There's a good deal of familiarity with the projects. So the teams will be reporting out on those 4 questions that I shared with you all, and we'll try to allow some time for Q&A. We need to cap it at 10 minutes per team because we have 15 teams, and that's a lot of teams to make sure that we can accommodate in the time that we have today. So it'll be just a sort of a quick introduction to what everybody's doing so you know who to put on your speed dial and who to reach out to when you have questions. And then just some quick wrap up and next steps for what to do in the next few months between now and our next learning community in early February. So again, the goals for today are to learn the basics about Exhale communications, the logo, the funder attribution guidelines, which are pretty simple, and then marketing and outreach tips. Also want to explore together the variety of Exhale respite programs that are getting underway. It's really impressive, the range and scope and geography of respite projects that are now through the 15 Exhale projects that are with us here today. So we'll hear about all of that. And then the first cohort, the Exhale teams that started back in 2020, are going to also share as part of their presentation some words of wisdom and advice based on what they've learned about Exhale implementation that they think might be helpful for new teams getting underway. So that's really what we're going to do in a nutshell. With that, let me stop sharing and we will go to the marketing portion of what we're doing today. So really the first thing we want to talk about, before I turn it over to you, Shannon, I just want to say a few things about use of the logo and the press release. We can do that part together, and then I'm going to turn it over to you for your presentation, okay? So with respect to public-facing documents that you're using and creating for your Exhale projects, what we ask is that you include the Exhale logo on your materials. You don't need to put funder at, all 3 of the funders on every single piece of, public-facing documentation that you're creating. Just the logo. And the purpose of the logo is to brand and coordinate all of this activity under the umbrella of Exhale. There are 2 exceptions to that. One is when you do press releases or are talking with the press, and 2, on your websites where you might have more in-depth information about your programs that are part of Exhale. For that, we're asking that you, let me pull up, we sent out a couple of materials yesterday. Let me just quickly walk through that before I get into the press release guidelines. We sent out logo use guidelines. We sent out a sample template press release that gives you both an idea about how to do a press release as well as some required language. That's what we're going to go over in a minute. We also sent out the PowerPoint presentation that Shannon's going to go through today, the marketing and outreach strategy planning document that you saw last spring. Shannon presented the marketing planning deck last spring, but we wanted to share it with you again because you're no doubt still in the thick of, planning for your marketing and outreach strategies right now. So we wanted you to have that document. And then there's also some social copy and caregiver messages that were included in the packet that went out yesterday to all of the team leads. And those are just ideas for you, language for you to use in your materials based on what we've learned in the first time that we did Exhale with, the 3 existing projects from 2020. We learned, that there's some important messages, ways of communicating with caregivers, how to speak with caregivers, how to engage with caregivers who don't recognize themselves as caregivers. So there's a lot of that kind of tips and strategies embedded in what you got yesterday and what you'll be hearing about today. So with that, let me turn to the press release document really quick. So we can go over that.
Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Sure.
So,
Want me to go through?
yeah, sure. If you want to go through this, Shannon, that's fine. And I'll chime in if there's anything else I want to add.
Oh, yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thanks for having me and congrats to all the new programs and hi to the 3 existing programs. We put together this press release template for you to use to make it as simple as possible. And really, it's really just a template that you can update. So everything highlighted in yellow is we want this included on your press releases and on your website. So this is mandatory content. So if you read this right here, starting with funded by the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, all the way down to including your name of your organization. So this is something that's mandatory. So we put this in the press release template. So it's easy for you to just pick up and copy and paste. Lisa, do you want to talk about how that needs to go on their website at all? Does it need to go anywhere specific?
Yeah, I think just where you're describing the program. However you go about describing this program and the broader family of projects that your organization is a part of is where you can put this language. We don't really have strict guidelines about exactly where it goes. We just, when you talk about the funders and when you talk about the projects, we wanted to just, offer you some language that fits, with, that has everything spelled correctly and fits with the messages of the program. So there's that text, and then there's also the description below in a press release, typically that ends with about your organization and about any other organizations that are involved. Here's some language you can use on about Exhale. And what you're looking at, this document is a template for a press release. It happens to be geared toward, announcing that you have a new program launching. You can use this template either for that or for any other kind of press release. It's really just to give you ideas about how to structure and do a press release if you haven't done one before. And again, they're not required, but a lot of organizations like to do them and, get some good coverage from the media. There's been a lot of coverage in the media lately, thanks to our team at Crowley Webb and the other good materials that are and good work that's happening that there's been a lot of focus on caregivers in the Buffalo and Southeast Michigan media lately. So I suspect that'll continue. So your press releases will probably get noticed when you do them. So this is an example of how to do a press release. It's geared toward launch, and it includes the language in yellow that we're asking you to please include, both on any press release. And when you're talking with funders, try to mimic the yellow language. If you're talking with media, I should say, I apologize, I said funders by accident. And then also on your websites, please use it as well. And if you have any questions, please chime in.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. I think this sentence right here is good to remember. Exhale, the Family Caregiver Initiative, which funds innovative collaborative projects that are reimagining and increasing respite opportunities for family caregivers, older adults. That's sort of like the boilerplate copy that the elevator speech, I guess, I would say, to keep it top of mind if talking about the program. Yep,
that's great. And all of these materials that I sent out yesterday are for you to pick and choose from. It's language you can use for your own copy and your own materials. So feel free to have at it with all the materials that I sent out yesterday. The logo is easy to use. The way I've used the logo is I have a sample, a copy of it that I just recopy all the time, every time I use it. That's my cheat sheet way of doing it. So there's a more sophisticated way of creating the logos, but that works for me.
Yeah, speaking of logos, do you want me to move to the logo guidelines?
Yes, thank you. And then go ahead and take it away with your presentation, Shannon.
Okay. So the logo guidelines, which you received yesterday, is just sort of a high-level brand guidelines document here. So this, if you haven't received them yet, we'll send you a zip file with all these assets, all the logo assets. But this is just to show you, some basic rules around it. The logo should not be smaller than 1.375 inches when printed. The logo with the tagline should be at least 0.75 inches wide to maintain legibility. The shape should never be stretched or distorted. So like when you put something in a PowerPoint or sometimes, sometimes it's easy to stretch it and make it look distorted. So that's basically some of those high level guidelines. And then we use this example from Forever Young. They did this great flyer, and we're just showing you how to use the logo paired with your program's logo. So in this situation, Forever Young, their logo is right here on the flyer. And we just say that to make it simple, just always put exhale in the lower footer so it doesn't compete with your logo. And if you do need to, just make sure it's sort of at the same size as all the other logos on the page. And everything else here is really brand guidelines around Exhale. The fonts and stuff is again, all Exhale. So that doesn't pertain to your program. But this last page in the document, the boilerplate copy, this is marketing copy that you can use when referencing Exhale. So feel free to copy and paste this. It's one of these sentences was in the press release, but this is just an easy, like I said, elevator copy to speak about the program and what it means. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. So we will move on to the communication ideas. So this was actually put together by myself, Sarah at Archangels, and Lisa last year, and we shared it with the first 3 programs. So I'm sorry, guys, this is not new information, but for everyone else, we just kind of put our heads together and wanted to put together some general ideas for you all as you start to think through your marketing plans and building out messaging and all that. So feel free to ask questions, and Sarah and Lisa, please feel free to chime in as I go through this. So from a overall messaging standpoint, the first thing we think is really important is to make sure you're infusing caregiver messaging across all of your communications. So we have some ideas here that you can pull from, but we said, consider framing respite differently. For example, using language like no time for yourself, or a moment to breathe, time spent with a loved one, or take a break. Something that's relatable and human, and something that, respite is sort of a term that many people maybe don't even know what it means. So breaking that language down and making it relatable. In your communications, we think it's important to call out what constitutes a caregiver. So Archangels recommends, things like, are you caring for or worrying about an older adult or family member, friend, or neighbor? So you might just be worrying about someone, maybe not caring specifically for them. This can include helping with health-related tasks, managing chores, organizing, paying the bills, providing transportation for them, calling or visiting to check in. Calling out these specific duties might be really helpful because, you may be a caregiver and you don't even know it. So that's some language that you can use. And then we thought it was important to use celebratory language, words that convey concepts like, are you caring for a family, friend, or neighbor? And it can be one of the greatest roles we take on, and caregiving can be challenging, things like that. Just really making known that these people are special, and we want to help them. Sarah, anything to add there?
No, you nailed it.
Okay. Some other ideas here: help caregivers of older adults identify themselves. So adding the caregiver intensity index to the Exhale landing page, as well as your program pages, if it's not already there. Highlighting why it's worth the caregiver's time. So making it known that, if you take this time for yourself, or you have some extra time with a loved one, it's going to alleviate stress. It's going to provide peace of mind. Those are benefits to the individual that they're probably not thinking about. And then the last thing on this page is cross promote with other programs in the Exhale initiative as much as possible. We heard stories about, I know the Musical Memories Cafe had some people come in and actually present there, and it was really great. And I think just using each other to promote your programs and cross promote, that's going to be beneficial to you all. And some other ideas, some tactics for awareness building when you guys launch, email blasts, refer a friend, like maybe if you get someone on that is interested, maybe it's like, sending them some information that they can send a friend of theirs that they know is in need of help. Putting physicians in putting flyers in physicians' offices, eye doctors, grocery store, churches, personal mailed letters to individuals if you get a mailing list, and then maybe considering some geo-targeted digital campaigns that you can put a budget on or a cap on so that you're only spending a certain amount each month, targeted specifically to caregivers. You can post in local Facebook groups. There's bulletins. If you look for caregiver bulletins in Facebook, for instance, there's one for Western New York. And you can, there's 19,000 members, and it's not, geared to caregivers, but all the individuals in there, I'm assuming there's many caregivers in there. So just posting in there and making it known of your services, running targeted banner ads on caregiver resource websites, posting in the Family Caregiver Alliance, which seems like a great resource. You can sort by state, and you can look at all the resources by state. So you can work with them to post your program's information. You can hold presentations at local organizations, and just work with local rehab centers or, those types of places to promote your capabilities, because a lot of people, their loved ones are in these centers, and then when they're checking them out, they might be looking for information. So that was really it. Those were like some high level ideas. Does anyone have any questions? Well, if any questions come about, as you get into this, please feel free to reach out or bounce ideas off of us. We're always here to help.
Thank you so much, Shannon. And I'm sure that people will have questions as they dive into this.
Yeah.
We encourage you to review the materials that were emailed out yesterday. Take a look at the marketing planning document again, just to refresh your memory on how you want to go about planning for your marketing and outreach. And if you have any questions, you can either contact me or Shannon directly, and feel free to ask. So unless there's any other questions, we have a jam-packed agenda, and we'll keep moving forward here. Any final questions for Shannon? Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, well, again, thanks, Shannon. Appreciate your support. Your team has been phenomenal. They are the creators of the Exhale logo. So we are quite delighted to have Charlie Webb as part of the Exhale family of support here. So thank you so much, Shannon, to you and your team. And feel free to hang around, or if you need to hop off, that's totally fine too. So next, we're going to dive into the real the meat of what we're doing today, which are the team presentations. And we're going to start with the teams that have been working on Exhale for a couple of years now. And they're going to describe their programs, who their teams are, and basic roles of the team organizations, their targets for caregivers, who they're working with, and also words of wisdom for you all based on their experience, having done, having launched and implemented and marketed and worked on recruiting caregivers for 2 years now. They've learned a lot, and they have some some best practices and lessons learned to share with you all. So with that, why don't we start in reverse alpha order for once, and we'll go with Westfall Center for the Arts. Steve Harvey, are you with us this morning?
Yeah. Hi, thank you. So we can share screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. And why is it not popping up here? There it is. Hi, everyone. So I'm Steve Harvey. I'm with Westfall Center for the Arts. And I think, is Carolyn on? I think she is.
I am.
Yeah, we actually have a Musical Memories Cafe today. So she's got to cut out a little early as well. So Musical Memories Cafe, what is it? It's an event where we use music, dance, conversation, sharing a meal, where caregivers and their loved ones come together and enjoy the experience. The we had a lot of conversations around what would be the, medium, the artistic medium we would use, from whether it was arts or culinary arts or music. And, as we did the research, we realized that music is a really powerful tool for those who are experiencing dementia and Alzheimer's. And so that, we went with the music, and it's really been a powerful experience for a lot of people. And almost every single Musical Memories Cafe, we have individuals that experience something they either thought they would never experience again with their loved ones, and sometimes bring a lot of people to tears. So it's pretty cool. What we also do is, in addition to that, is we provide valuable linkages to caregiver resources in the community. We know that this is working because when we did our pre-test, post-test, more and more are saying that they're accessing more resources. So the evaluation has been very strong for the program. We use the Caregiver Intensity Index as an intervention tool. We've done the pre and post-test as well. Our red flags have decreased, which is great. But what we do is we reach out to caregivers who might be in the red flag zone or the yellow flag zone. And provide targeted supports for them. Right now, we actually are bringing on a new social work intern from the University of Buffalo Graduate School of Social Work. So that individual will be doing that work for us. And then, let's see, so there are some incredible experiences. So I just want to explain. So this picture that you see here, this gentleman arrived to the Musical Memories Cafe. He was using a wheelchair, not because he physically couldn't walk, but because he forgot how to walk. They took him to his table. They got him to stand up and kind of move each leg to where he could sit. And he kind of sat there pretty quiet through most of the conversations and things before the music started. And then all of a sudden a song came on, and he reached his hand out to his wife, who's pictured there. And they went out and danced, which was just unbelievable. And it's that kind of experience that happens consistently in the program. So we've served about 600 unique participants, caregivers, and also isolated adults. A lot of individuals who have loved ones that they bring who pass will continue to come. And then we also have some individuals from the community who will come. We originally thought we'd have 2 different memory cafes, but there's an incredible benefit of having isolated adults and everyone come together in the same experience. So that's what we're continuing to do. We've provided 3,500 duplicated participant experiences. So for example, if someone attended 10 Musical Memories Cafes, they're counted 10 times and so on. We are looking to expand throughout Western New York. Right now, we're in West Falls, which is a rural community, of the Amherst Senior Center, Dale Association, which is in Lockport, an urban community, and Canada Neighbors, which is on the east side of Buffalo, which is also in Erie County. We want to expand to more diverse communities, and our expectation is that we will expand statewide and then nationally. Expanding Musical Memories Cafe, each site has continued to grow, and actually every site is at capacity. So we're looking for more sites. We created a licensing model, and we're developing a comprehensive website so that individuals can go through that website and be trained on implementing the program, but also be part of a community that we can then provide more personal attention to. It's going to have an online learning management system. It's going to have a library of resources, webinars, videos. It's going to be seamless. In this way, what we can do is, instead of Carolyn spending an incredible amount of time with each one of these sites, they can get up and going, and we'll have a site, a community of the licensees, and then expand our community of caregivers. So it's basically a model that decreases the amount of staffing time to kind of pretty remedial processes, and then allows that staff then to focus on building that community. So words of wisdom. And by the way, this picture to the right, pause, I think it was Pause for Care. It's a program from the SPCA. So we will bring programs in and they interact. And this has been one of the ones that they really love. But for words of wisdom is relationships are key. That's with your partners, with the community, with the families. For example, when we had COVID and they couldn't come in, we actually went out to the community. Carolyn, Bill, and some of the musicians actually would have small concerts on people's back patios. They would do them outside at assisted living and nursing homes. Use research to support your work, not only research that, that you might get from like NIH or some of the research that Lisa has shared, but also the evaluation process, because that can bolster your, not only your marketing and things like that, but expand your opportunity to bring in more revenue, particularly around grants. Data helps with sustainability, no question. So data is king. Key partnerships help expand and sustain. So for example, with your licensees, or I'm sorry, with your replication or your feeders, so organizations that are sending people to you. Volunteers should be a part of your implementation sustainability plan. We train our volunteers. We usually have 3 to 4 or 5 per session. Each organization has their own volunteers. Many of them are already trained, but for example, a place like West Falls, where they're not typically always serving individuals with dementia, we train them so they understand what to expect. We are constantly looking for national recognition and national grants. I think that adds to the organization. And then obviously take full advantage of the Exhale resources and expertise. We wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for Exhale. So, and that is our presentation.
Thank you, Steve. That was fantastic. Appreciate the excellent overview and inside of your 6 minutes, which is even better. Any questions for Steve or about the Musical Memory Cafe or Carolyn?
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. Steve, one quick question. So do you find that word of mouth is one of the most valuable ways of getting the word out about your program, and people coming and then just talking to each other about the Memory Cafe opportunity? What's been most successful for you guys in terms of marketing and outreach?
Yeah, I mean, word of mouth, no question, is a really powerful way of promoting your program. The other way is to leverage organizations that people already have trust in. So whether it's assisted living or a community center. So for example, Amherst Community Center, Senior Center, they already had those individuals and they already had people that were used to seeing what's on the calendar and things like that. So between word of mouth and then leveraging those experiences, those that trust people have in organizations, I think those are the 2 best. Question is about how many volunteers we have. Again, each organization probably has anywhere from 10 to 15 or more volunteers, and they cycle in as they run each of the programs.
The other question is it live entertainment? Yes, it's always live entertainment, and I would emphasize what Steve said about building relationships. And word of mouth. That's been our greatest asset, and the folks that we've built those relationships with have come back and become volunteers and made themselves part, taking ownership of this program.
Yeah, and Carolyn attends trainings by the Alzheimer's Association, and then we take those trainings and do a customized training with our volunteers. Many of the organizations who are already working with volunteers that work with this population already have trained volunteers. So we're one of the probably few of our sites that are actually training our volunteers. We don't have a specific curriculum, but that will be one of our training modules we'll add to our website.
I'd just like to add, Lisa, that myself and our core team visited the West Falls Center for the Arts during one of the memory cafes, and it was just a wonderful experience. And so kudos to you all, because it was very heartwarming and really inspired us after being a part of and joining one of your sessions. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thanks for sharing that.
I also think that if you want, you can share our evaluation, Lisa, because I think the evidence is really very powerful, and that's the kind of impact data that you're going to want if you're going to go after national recognition, or you're going to go after bigger grants, or you're going to try to get sponsorships. So we're very big on data. And there's no question that the combination of this experience and all the interventions that we do and the resources we provide has a comprehensive impact, has decreased anxiety, has increased the networks of caregivers and all sorts of things. So Lisa, if you want to share that, please feel free.
Great, I will do that. Thank you, Steve. One last quick question from Misha. Could you speak to how you activate a word of mouth network? Who is talking to whom and through what channels?
That's a good question, but I think word of mouth is generally, families that get together that, you know, a lot, like I'm caring for my parents, but I have a lot of friends who are also doing that. And so they do trigger that. And when you have a community like West Falls, which is pretty spread out, that's probably more effective than say, you know, trying to target the specific group and spread the word like at a church community. Although I think those are all possibilities, but generally the word of mouth is we're finding people that are the same age taking care of their parents or loved ones are sharing the experience, and then we get more people to come in.
Thank you, Steve and Carolyn. Phenomenal work and great presentation today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So let's go to one of our other experienced cohort teams. HCA, would you like to go next? Healthy Community Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Ashley. Welcome.
Hi. All right, so our pilot is called Caregiver Tech Solution, so enriching your caregiver journey. And really our pilot, go back. Our pilot really focuses on this individual coaching that we call eRespite Coaching Workshop, which is 8 sessions. And it provides caregivers with this one-on-one support with a coach, which is someone from our partner team, to work on them, to find opportunities for respite, stress reduction, focus on self and wellness care for them, and really by using a technology solution. So we also have our website, and our website has resources, information for caregivers to learn about how technology can increase respite at their own pace without the use of coach. So all the solutions that we're finding have been really successful with caregivers in our workshop. We've also been adding to our website just as a resource for folks that may already have that device. They may not be interested in that one-on-one coaching. It may not be a good time for them, but they might see something and say, hey, I never knew I could do that with a Blink camera, or I never knew I could do that, have groceries delivered to my house. So that's how our website has been really impactful. And our program serves caregivers of older adults, specifically in the rural communities in Cattaraugus, Chautauqua County, which is our latest expansion, and in Wyoming County. So our focus is very rural caregivers, caregivers who don't have a lot of opportunities for in-person programs to take their loved one, and caregivers who don't have access to a lot of technology or Wi-Fi opportunities. So we've been working on connecting them with that as well. So a little bit about the intervention. Our workshop, like I said, is being implemented by our partners, which is on the next page, in the 3 counties. And really we set it up, we created this totally from scratch from hearing our caregivers say that they want more opportunities for respite, more opportunities to take a break, reduce stress, versus that opportunity where they have, aid coming in, or they're taking their loved one somewhere. They want to do it more frequently so they could have more opportunities to take that break when needed. So we created these sessions, and they're about 30 minutes each, so really quick. We've done them in person, we've done them over the phone, we've done them in a virtual setting. We've tried everything, whatever is most convenient for the caregiver. We leave that up to them. And really these sessions, of course they go over a couple of assessments, but the assessments are there to ask them the things that they miss because of their caregiving, or they'd like to get back to because of their caregiving. So it really focuses on them as a caregiver, so that we can find a solution that is best for them. Of course, these technology solutions are at no cost to them. And we always have our support from our coaches, and then also an opportunity to have a contract with an IT contractor who is able to install a lot of the devices as well. So you may be thinking, what are some of the things that we've implemented? Of course, iPads with the shatterproof cases, Kindles. One of the biggest items has been the Blink indoor and outdoor cameras. And what we've done is use flash drives so that we're not paying for the subscription service for those that do have Blink, and using the video doorbell as well. We've done Apple Watches, a lot of requests for robot mops. We've done Echo shows, the dots, the smart plugs. Really the list is endless, and it's up to the caregiver and the coach to come up with that solution that makes most sense for them. some people that don't have Wi-Fi, we do the automated pill dispensers. We have the long range non-Wi-Fi baby monitors. So there are many different options of technology that we've used depending on the situations for if they have connectivity to internet or they may just not have internet in general. So our team has really helped us implement this in the 3 counties. We could not have done it without them. We have myself, the Health Community Alliance, we have Total Senior Care, Directions Independent Living, Interfaith Caregivers, Wyoming County Office for the Aging, Cat County Department of Aging, Home Care and Hospice. And these partners are also doing the coaching program. And I'd like to just say for anyone that is in county government here, Wyoming County Office for the Aging, if they are not on, if Tess is not on, has been an absolute wonderful partner. And these programs can be implemented in an office for the aging or a governmental type of office. They have been outstanding in probably serving about half the caregivers that we've served already, which has been 46, and our goal is 80. So we're just really excited to have that partnership with them, as that was a new partnership with this grant. And it's definitely doable, whether your agency is a nonprofit or if it's governmental. This pilot does work. So some of the words of advice. This is my second go around at co-design. I was involved in Aging by Design with the Health Foundation. And so really, we really want to emphasize that to engage caregivers by using co-design in this program creation and implementation, if you have not already, it really has the benefit of helping them be a part of the process versus being given a solution and told, make sure this fits for them. So I really want to push using co-design. Also remain flexible. We always say fail forward. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail, just change it and move on. That's the only way we learn. And use resources that the funders have provided. Teresa Lawrence, Crowley, the New York Academy of Medicine. We have reached out to all of the folks, have used them, have brought them into our collaborative, have helped us design all our surveys. So they're absolutely great resources. Please use them. And as always, expect the process to take more time than planned. Collaboration takes so much time. Co-design takes time, but it leads to such a better result at the end. So just make sure that you give yourself enough time for your planning so that your implementation stage goes smoothly. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Ashley. That's great. It's exciting to hear what you guys are doing and all the different varieties of respite that we see in this program. It's quite impressive. Questions for Ashley? So
Actually, are any of these resources available to, I know you're serving those populations, but are any of those technological resources that might be available to any of our new initiatives? You know, some of that really relies on, you know, that expertise, but, you know, whether it be robots or some of those other kind of tools per se, those assets.
Yeah, so I just put our website in the chat so you can see kind of about a little bit more about the program. Right now, we're only serving the 3 rural counties. As originally, the first round of pilots was that set of area. I know we've expanded now, but absolutely, there's always opportunities to share our coaching program. If that works for you all, or you'd like to try it, we could definitely look at that in our sustainability and expansion. We'd be happy to share any of the things that we've learned to kick off anyone else's pilot projects.
Thank you.
thanks, Ashley. And Ashley, what have you found has been most helpful in terms of your marketing and outreach? And has it been the referral strategies from your partners that you think has been most successful, or what, you know, what's been helpful for your project?
Yeah, so half and half. Some of our partners are going through their current case lists, which has been extremely helpful. So, you know, not reinventing the wheel, going through the caregivers that you already know, the folks that are on your list, and reaching out to them about the program, potentially, you know, doubling up with something else you're going to reach out to them about. So you have different opportunities to contact that caregiver or loved one. And then, of course, for rural communities, absolutely word of mouth. We focused a lot on that with the referrals that come to HCA, just from the stuff being in the paper. We focus heavily on mostly paid ads in the papers for rural communities. But we do also, of course, have our website and Facebook, but a lot of folks do still use word of mouth in looking at the papers.
Thank you. Any questions for Ashley? We have about 1 more minute. This was wonderful, Ashley. Thank you. Look at all the great feedback you're getting here in the chat. No further questions for Ashley? Well, I encourage you to check out her websites. Caregivers are able to keep iPads, robots, etc. That's true, yes?
Yep, absolutely. They sign a liability and they keep the devices, and we will be doing a 6-month follow-up about the continued use and frequency of the devices as well.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on your project and keep us posted what you're learning. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks.
Carrie Whitwood from Allegheny County, Arden Solutions. Carrie, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Hi there.
Hi. Unfortunately, the staff that's immersed in this program was unable to be here today. And Lisa, thank you for recording it. But I do have to share with all the new Excel projects that I get excited every time I hear from Steve and Ashley on the projects that they're doing. And I've heard a lot of presentations as part of our learning community. And every time I hear them, I've learned something new, and it's so exciting to see what's happening with these programs. So I just want to tell you all, your learning community, you get so much out of it. So I am going to introduce the Forever Young program here in Allegheny County. So I'm going to start with this video. Let me know if you cannot hear the sound.
Hello, my name is Tracy. I'm 100 years old. One of my favorite things to do is dance. My favorite color is blue. I worked as a salesman when I was a bit younger. I enjoy listening to any type of music that makes me dance. My favorite type of animal is a dog or a deer. I'm glad you were my pen pal. Dorothy.
That worked perfectly.
Good. So I'm going to introduce you to the Forever Young project that we have in Allegheny County. It is an intergenerational respite project that's actually held in Genesee Valley Central School. So caregivers and or their loved ones or family members that they're caregiving for is able to come into the school district or into the school day. We are available Monday through Fridays. They can come in. They can have lunch with the students. They are able to join different classrooms. They have been in the art classes and taken part in those activities. Library, they've been reading books to students. So it is a great way to connect those generations into this respite program. So there's a lot of socialization. Over the summer, they teamed up with the after school program or the summer program. So it does take a lot of coordination and a lot of imagination on how we can integrate the participants into the school day. But it has been a really rewarding experience. I do have to say, when the schools shut down, we've had this program. We had some things that we had to face over the past couple of years. But we are really moving forward now, getting our feet underneath us. And I have to say, Genesee Valley Central School has been, and the Office for the Aging here in Allegheny County, have been wonderful partners in this program, getting it going, all the support. So it has been a great journey. Here's a couple examples. This is Grandma Kemp up in the left-hand corner. who is a very active participant in this program. Again, we have had story time, Tai Chi with the kids. They read to students in the library, art class. So it has a great way of, again, integrating into that school day and being part of that community. So here's a couple, again, I think the marketing has been, we've done a lot of changes over this past 2 years, really rebranding the program. I think what they showed you earlier, Shannon, about the different messaging of how to connect caregivers and those that are receiving respite services to this program. So we have done, I would say, a lot of rebranding, remessaging over the past year and a half. So these are a couple samples of those marketing. So our partners is extensive. I mean, the core is definitely Genesee Valley and the Allegheny County Office of the Aging, but we partner with so many others here in Allegheny County to make sure they're aware of the program, any suggestions or recommendations they have. I mean, that video was made by our local BOCES, did that video to help promote it. So again, like Steve and Ashley say, it's really connecting to, doing the outreach, and making people aware of the program that you have. So again, who we serve, we're serving now anybody in Allegheny County, caregivers, older adults, caregivers and older adults. We've talked about a lot of, again, changes in the involvement in the program. And I think that's what Ashley and both Steve said too, is that flexibility, right? That being able to, if you find something is not working, there's a way around it. We actually went back to creative problem solving with Teresa at one point in our program. We had some, again, the challenges with the marketing. She helped us go back through and do that problem solving to rebrand it. Use the communication ideas, use your partners. But we've had, our original intent of this program, I can honestly say we've had to change a lot of the different processes in it. The first one example is we were going to have Meals on Wheels delivered to the school for the lunches. And, into that program a little way, we decided, well, why are we doing that? Why don't they go to the cafeteria? So we were able to get permission from the school for them to get their lunches from the cafeteria and really integrate that program. So I think, again, don't be afraid to change midstream if something is happening that may be able to tweak it and do something a little differently. Definitely be open to those ideas because it has been a journey. You're all starting a journey. Again, using those, the Excel teams, Teresa, Shannon, and Linda, and their other colleagues there, and we've used them throughout the process from determining what our evaluation is, the promotion, and also the problem solving. So that's a brief overview of the program that we have here in Allegheny County that's held at Genesee Valley Central School.
Thank you so much, Carrie. That was beautiful. A couple of questions have come in and some feedback in the chat. So one question is, do you have guidelines for care recipients to participate at the schools? What limitations are beyond the scope of the program, for example?
Yeah, we do a screening, and we do a screening with the Office for the Aging. People have to do the ADL to be able to, the daily living skills, to be able to participate in the program. It is, I think for us, especially looking at the services provided by the Office for the Aging and our Alzheimer's Association, it's that building of that continuum, right? So it's the care needed. And so this is like the first level of care. Again, it's respite, socialization, but there are limitations of what, or the eligibility criteria is a little more higher to be able to be in the school setting.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then a similar question, what, if any, requirements are there for the caregivers going into the school, especially given heightened focus on safety and security?
Yeah, the school district has been wonderful. And so we have gone through really developing those policies and procedures. Like the staff that goes in has to do background checks, right? They get security, they do all those pieces of it. The participants don't, but there is a referral, making sure we do working with the Office for the Aging. We know that they're going to be successful for the program, but the school district has been really great at letting us determine that eligibility and who we can bring in. We did have a gentleman early on that we tried to, that wasn't necessarily as they had progressed, and some of the things that they needed, we were unable to have everybody successful in this program. You know, with having that continuum with the Office for the Aging and other resources, we're able to transition people. We're able to make sure that they have services if they're not able to stay into the program, that it's part of that continuum, and they are linked up, they're in the system to be able to get the services they need.
That's great. And I think that's a theme for a lot of these projects is setting up those kinds of opportunities for warm handoffs when it isn't a fit, or when a person, you know, sort of evolves out of the program for whatever reason. Other questions? Lots of positive feedback. Very creative. Love this idea. That's great. Are you continuing the program?
Yes, we are continuing the program. We're looking at sustainability right now. I definitely think the relationship with the school district is they recognize the power of it. I mean, they recognize it for the community, the school community, and also for the community as a whole. So we are looking at ways to sustain this program, and hopefully we can be able to continue it. We'd love to grow it into other school districts. So we've learned a lot of lessons along the way that we'd be able to share with others that are looking at doing a project.
Thank you, Carrie. And what is the designation that Genesee Valley Schools has that makes it sort of an extra welcoming, community-focused space? Remind me.
I think it's a community wellness. I mean, actually, it's a designation of a community. Now, of course, I'm going to go blank right now. I think it's a community wellness community through the state. I mean, they just did a clinic. They're very involved in what's happening in schools. So that has been. I mean, when we first posed the idea, they say, "Yeah, let's talk about it," right? And so they have been very supportive in the things that we're doing. Teachers are busy, right? The staff it's just been a crazy 3 years, and it continues to be. And just keeping those relationships with those in the school and how can we support them and not add on to their day. It just has been a great learning experience for us and for them. And we continue to look at ways to have additional programs that our participants can be engaged in.
Thank you. And I appreciate that you underscored the importance of being flexible, being open, using creative problem solving to figure out solutions, you know, especially through COVID. That was a challenging time for all the teams, and especially a team working with a school. So, you know, I think that's really good advice for the other teams, is just to have an open mind, you know, and work with the Exhale faculty if challenges come your way.
I think one other thing to note, you know, in the video itself, that letter writing campaign are the students at Genesee Valley, but they're doing their pen pals at a local long-term care facility. So we're kind of bridging out to be able to do some more intergenerational programs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Carrie. That was really wonderful. Any final questions or thoughts for Carrie? Carrie, check out the chat. There's tons of great feedback for you there. All right, wonderful. So that concludes our three teams that have been working on Exhale since 2020. And thank you guys for wonderful presentations and for all your hard work on Exhale. You're wonderful leaders and mentors in this program, and we're really delighted that you're here today to share what you've learned and hear from the new folks, which is the next chapter that we'll move into now this morning, is hearing from our new Exhale teams. We have 13 brand new Exhale teams just getting going. And we're going to ask each of those teams this morning to answer those 4 questions I asked. One is describe your program. 2 is describe your team and the basic roles. Introduce your team if you have team members present today. And then who are the caregivers you're targeting, and approximately when do you plan to start your program implementation? Those are the main questions, and then we'll have a couple of questions at the end, a couple of minutes at the end for questions like we've been doing with the three existing teams that we've heard from so far. So without further ado, why don't we launch into, we'll go in alpha order. Would Alzheimer's Association like to go? Or if anybody would like to go first, that's fine too, just chime in, or and if not, we'll go in alphabetical order.
I'm happy to go first.
Okay.
Let me share my screen.
Thanks, Natalie.
No problem.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hold on, I have 3 monitors going. 1 sec. Hold on, my mouse is giving up on me. Okay.
Thank you. Looks like it's
Can you
working.
see?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so the title of our project is Virtual Inclusive Technology for Alzheimer's Disease Caregivers, or VITALS, Western New York. And my mouse is continuing to give me a problem. I'm sorry. Okay, the mission of our organization is to end Alzheimer's disease and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. And here at our local chapter, we really focus on the care and support for those living with Alzheimer's disease and dementia and their caregivers. So our project overview for this pilot, we are seeking to work with a company called IN2L that creates tablets with streamlined interfaces that are targeted towards older adults. We want to use these as a tool for caregivers by working with the Western New York Offices of the Aging to create a technology-based network for caregiver engagement, respite, education, and support. So these IN2L tablets are person-centered. They can be customized to meet the needs of older caregivers. So they contain, as I said, a streamlined interface that makes the tablets much easier to use than a traditional tablet like a Samsung Galaxy or an iPad. The buttons are larger, the language used in the tablet is more streamlined and easier so that the functionality is a lot more accessible for caregivers to utilize. And so we want to use these tablets to not only provide access to programming through the Alzheimer's Association, such as access to virtual support groups, virtual education, programming, but also as a source of respite, because these tablets have entertainment applications such as music, photos, travel videos, worship videos. And so we feel that these could be a really useful tool for caregivers to not only use themselves, but also to use in partnership with their loved one who may be living with Alzheimer's disease or dementia as sort of a joint enrichment, and utilizing this as a way for them to take breaks when needed and also connect with our programming. And the idea of this would be to target caregivers who tend to be older, probably 60, 65 and older, who may not be as familiar with how to use standard tablets. And we're also going to be targeting caregivers in the more rural areas, we will cover the entire 8-county service area shown here in the map, but we would be using both Wi-Fi and cellular enabled tablets so that if a caregiver doesn't have ready access to Wi-Fi due to their geographic location, there would be an option for them to use a cellular enabled tablet so that they can still participate in the programming and utilize it as a form of respite. And the team includes the Alzheimer's Association. Amanda Nobrega, who's on the call, is the Senior Director of Programs and Services, and myself as the Associate Program Director. I would be the point person on the project. We'll also be working in partnership with the Western New York County Offices for the Aging. We currently have state funding through the Department of Health that funds case manager positions to work with caregivers in the 8 counties of Western New York to provide support through respite, support groups, care consultations. And so we would leverage those existing relationships to help identify, refer, and then disseminate the tablets throughout our service area. And then obviously we would be working with IN2L to customize the tablets and make sure that they include information that is specific and desired and needed by the caregivers that we aim to serve. And we're hoping, based on everyone's feedback, who's already been participating, it sounds like we should definitely be looking to, maybe lengthen our target start date, but we're hoping to have tablets disseminated sometime by late winter or early spring. Hopefully that's feasible, but we will see. That's our target. And that's all I have. If there are any questions.
Thank you so much, Natalie. That's an exciting project. And thank you, Greg Reed from YMCA, for providing some information about a good resource in Orleans County to the team. That's the beauty of the learning community. You can all share ideas and do it real time. So that's wonderful. Thank you for that, Greg. Any questions for Natalie about their program? I think Lisa Klinkman perhaps has her hand raised. Go ahead, Lisa.
I apologize. That was, I did not mean to raise my hand.
Okay, no worries. Sorry about that. Anybody else? I love all the partnerships with the Offices for the Aging. I think your teams have very strategically and successfully engaged those organizations to work with you on these projects, and that's really going to be beneficial. Will this be specifically OFAs or also utilizing New York Connects in those regions? Good question. Natalie, what do you think?
I would defer to Amanda on it. We are still kind of working through that. We're open to finding referrals from anywhere that we can. We're mainly planning on using these case managers because we have those existing relationships, but of course we're open to expanding our reach through other referral networks. And I think that would be great, kind of anywhere that we could find them, because then we can always refer them. Essentially, we would use our case managers who are trained to kind of screen these caregivers to make sure that the tablets would be a good fit. So however we get them to a case manager, whether it's a case manager in our office or through the OFAs, we would do a screening to make sure that this would be a good fit and that we could provide them with the support that they need to utilize it.
And how many people can you serve in this program as planned?
We're starting, our target is 120 over 2 years.
Okay, terrific. Check out the chat team. So there's a recommendation to reach out to Headway of Western New York, Medicaid waiver programs or service those areas. And also, can you provide the contact info for us and others who would like to engage with your team to support our initiative in training volunteers, et cetera?
Yeah, I can, for myself, yeah, I can put in my email. Does that work?
Yeah, that'd be great, Natalie. Thank
I'll
you.
put it in the chat. Thanks.
Any wonderful presentation and exciting project. Thank you. Any other final questions or feedback for the Alzheimer's team?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Natalie and Amanda. So we have a volunteer. We have Anne Marie Orlowski from Cradle Beach is raring to go next. Anne Marie, would you like to take it away?
Sure, thank you. Just bear with me 1 second while we do this sharing.
Thank you. There you go.
Okay, thank you. So, let's see, let me just take this out. Okay, everybody can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we'd like to introduce you today to our program and our Exhale project called Pathways for Caregivers. We are a team of 5 primary project members. Specifically, we'll be introducing you to us. However, oh wait a second here. There we go. Okay. I'd like to introduce you to myself, obviously, Anne Marie Orlowski. I'm the Chief Executive Officer, Nancy Grimes, who is our Administrative Director at Cradle Beach. For anybody who's not aware of Cradle Beach, we are located in Angola, New York, in the South Towns. That's one of the unique programs that are offered through Exhale, is really focusing on the South Towns area, specifically within Erie County. Specifically for Cradle Beach, we are a 66-acre campus, and our 3 primary programs that we've been serving for a number of years include our overnight summer camp program, our overnight respite, which has served individuals, both children and adults, with developmental disabilities, as well as caregivers for those adults and for children and young adolescents as well. So offering this opportunity is really an extension of our existing mission. We also provide retreats and conference center facilities. We have a 135-year legacy in our Western New York community. And really what stands out is the nature of us being in a very unique location in Angola on Lake Erie, surrounded by water, woodlands, nature, and really providing an opportunity to bring diverse individuals together, both within our community, families, children, volunteers, and the like. There's a specific magic that we talk about at Cradle Beach, and it's hard to imagine unless you come and or you engage with folks who have actually been on site and on campus. Our partners are Harmonia Collaborative Care, who are also located in the South Towns, both in Derby and Hamburg. Valerie Nowak is their CEO, and Jennifer Gunya is their Senior Services Program Coordinator. Harmonia has been in the community for a number of years and has expanded and really has, you may see a lot of promotion for them going on right now as well, given the extensive behavioral health work, as well as senior care services that they're providing. Here's a listing of their services, which is a wonderful support to our group, given the nature of the expertise and the trusting relationship already created in our South Towns and Western New York community, both in both aspects for both senior care as well as behavioral health. Their existing services help to complement services that will be offered to caregivers. And we will talk a little bit more about what role they'll be fulfilling in this project. Lisa Roods, probably most people on this call probably know Lisa from her extensive years of service to the senior services community, as well as her expertise. She's created over 30 faith-based programs in local churches and has a whole bunch of other credentials to support our initiative. So what really we're looking to do is bring together and promote an opportunity for caregivers to come on our 66-acre campus to allow them, as well as the care receiver, an opportunity for enrichment, for respite, and for some great opportunities. So this is a picture of our campus, the entry into Cradle Beach, as well as kind of a aerial view of some of our property. You'll see our pools, as well as our Jim Kelly house, as well as some of the amenities and facilities. There's an incredible tree house that has the most healing properties in addition to the beach and the water. And so as we look at working together on our very large campus, there's a whole lot of opportunities for caregivers. And we are providing a day respite at Cradle Beach to start for our year one. And during that respite, we'll offer caregivers an opportunity to have a support group that will be facilitated by the mental health clinicians from Harmonia, as well as a bunch of other educational resources that will be provided over time. We also will be offering caregivers the opportunity for expanded supports through Lisa's expertise, as well as just fun opportunities within Cradle Beach. The novel part of what we're doing here is really utilizing our campus kind of as an oasis for caregivers, if they so choose, so that they can come receive supports while their loved one is also receiving respite on site. Caregivers can choose to stay on site or to go out into community to do whatever their heart's desire. But it's a unique opportunity to meet both needs. And we know from the Archangel's research that there are specific preferences for how caregivers would like to see their respite, whether it's together with their loved one or separate, some time alone, and or maybe extended respite opportunities. And so as we look at our model for pathways for caregivers, it really allows us to focus on expansion over the years. Year one will primarily focus on day respite and providing those caregiver supports across our Exhale project team, and really then growing into year two to community respite opportunities, and then ultimately to vacation and extended overnight respite as the years go on. Our target audience are individuals who have low to moderate stages of aging or illness. We will not be serving high level medical needs or individuals who are unable to have some independent living skill building or required skilled nursing care. We do have a infirmary on site, as well as a whole host of other resources that are accessible. It's a fully accessible campus, although we want to ensure that we're able to safely care for our caregivers as well as our care receivers. Let's see, we anticipate a launch date of programming January 2023, assuming all goes well. And certainly we're in those early phases right now, but have wonderful access to the community in collaboration through Lisa and her resources, as well as Harmonia, who will be helping us to really be caregiver senior friendly and ensure that we have the resources in place. Here are some pictures of a number of our facilities at our campus. To the left is our Jim Kelly house, along with the top center, the inside versus the outside, excuse me. To the right is our Geico Woodland Lodge. You have a beautiful sunset that we've heard in our focus groups that many caregivers are seeking. We just want to be able to see the sunset. We just want some peace, as well as some activities that we currently do, and our notable tree house that faces Lake Erie. So if there's any questions.
Thank you, Anne Marie.
Yeah, Valerie Nowak is on this call as well, and I'm not sure, I've lost track if our other I know Lisa is unable to join today, but there may be others from our team as well. You can certainly introduce yourself.
Anne Marie, thank you. That was a great overview. What a beautiful facility. This looks like a wonderful place to go and relax.
Thank you, Lisa. I should also mention that in addition to us, Cradle Beach as the team lead per se for the initiative that for our group for Pathways, we are also collaborating with a couple other projects who've reached out to us to also be vendor support services for their Exhale project as well.
That's great. That's exactly the kind of cross-pollination that's going to be successful, because caregivers might need, one program one week and another program another week. So that's
indeed.
Check out the chat from Alzheimer's Association. Amanda Nobriga had a recommendation for you, Anne Marie.
Okay, thank you.
Team, to check that out. Any quick questions for Anne Marie before we go on to the next speaker?
I do, just really quick. Anne Marie, do you guys have any type of like flyer or anything like that of just finding out more about Cradle Beach that you could share? Like, I'm even just thinking outside of caregivers, but also other
sure, for our other programs as well. Yeah,
we have a Challenger program that would be great to be able to just recommend that to some of our families too, and would love to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the process of revising some of our marketing materials separately for our just kind of a revitalization of our brand and better community awareness. So I will send you what we have to date, and then anything that gets finalized we'll forward along as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and that's a good reminder. Feel free, all of you, to use the email listservs that I've been sending around. This is your community. So from now on, feel free to reach out to one another. Or if you need help finding somebody, I can help you find somebody. Great suggestion, Greg. Thank you. Anne Marie, check out all the nice feedback you're getting about the facility in the chat. Any other questions for Anne Marie? We need to move on to the next speaker pretty quickly here. Thank you so much, Anne Marie, and good luck to your team. It sounds like a really exciting and beneficial program for caregivers. Next, we have Daisy Ball from the Buffalo Federation of Neighborhood Centers. Are you there, Daisy?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Hi there.
I'm just going to share my presentation here. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So our project is the Erie County Neighborhoods Dual Track Caregiver and Receiver Respite and Mystery Trips. We have several collaborating partners on the project, which we will talk about in the next slide. Our project purpose is to offer a variety of sites to access respite opportunities and life enrichment programs for caregivers and receivers. Our main goal is to help our caregivers prioritize their well-being. We also want to increase the stability of the caregiver, but also our care receivers. And we also want to strengthen the usage of support services that are available, not only in Buffalo, but throughout Erie County. Our partner contributions is BFNC, will be the project lead for Exhale. We also will be an anchor respite site and also providing some coordination services and linkages for mental health home care coordination, and other support services that are available for seniors and caregivers through our agency. Erie County Senior Services, which is our local state office for the aging, will be providing project referrals, advertising through their networks, also wellness promotion programming at our anchor sites, nutrition programs, and also transportation. Compeer will also be able to provide some mental health support services, and also they will have an anchor site. Our clinical healthcare management services will be providing case management services to the project for our caregivers and also care receivers. They will also be coming in and doing some wellness promotion programming as well. And they are embedded throughout all of the programming that will be happening at all of our locations. The Seneca Babcock Committee Association at Schiller Park will also be a respite site. And Hearts and Hands will be providing our volunteer outreach, screening, and engagement. And I'm happy to say that Lisa Rude is also a project consultant, and we have hours built in for her to come and do some wellness promotion programming as well. So our anchor respite sites, we have 3 that are going to be housed within the city of Buffalo. 2 are on different ends of the east side, and then we do have 1 in North Buffalo. Our hope is that at all 3 of these locations, there are existing senior activity programs. And so the hope would be, outside of the respite piece, that if caregivers need additional assistance or have seniors who are able to participate in the general activities programs, that they will be able to take advantage of the opportunities of the additional programming to have more client engagement, and also have other opportunities for respite outside of the Exhale initiative. Under this initiative, caregivers will have up to 4 hours of free time to take breaks, just to take care of themselves, take care of business or personal needs. And obviously, there will be other programming at our locations that will be available specifically for our caregivers. So some of the features of this project is, we're non-medical respite. Our goal is to be able to provide community respite services, again, at traditional senior center locations, but then on top of that, be able to offer other respite opportunities in relationships with faith-based organizations that will be coming online throughout the project. The faith-based organizations will be providing respites 1 time per month. They will be going through training to be able to upstart their programs. And also, luckily, we will be having our dual track life enrichment programs for caregivers and receivers through the Aging Mastery Program, which is established by the National. Is there a question? Oh, I'm sorry. I think someone's unmuted.
Please go on mute, everyone.
Okay. But again, our goal with the Aging Mastery Program is that they have a dual caregiver and care receiver curriculum. We've had a lot of success with the Aging Mastery Program for care receivers, and we have launched a caregiver component, and we've had some success with it and feel that this is a natural fit for the Exhale initiative. So with the inclusion of the faith-based organizations and also the local office for the aging that also has components for the Aging Mastery Program, we feel it's a great way to scale up this program to be able to offer opportunities for folks to participate in life enrichment that helps, keep things in perspective, but also provide opportunities for support groups and being able to share their experiences. Again, case management would be a large component of this project, and also the support group functions, which would be available in person and virtual across all of the sites that are offering dual track enrichment for caregivers and receivers. Another project feature, which we've had a lot of success with, are mystery trips. And so mystery trips provide opportunities for caregivers to relax and leave worries behind. They leave all of the planning to us. Down to what time, the transportation, the meals, where we're going, everything is coordinated by our respite locations. The National Comedy Museum is an example of a trip that we've done actually this summer. And also the picture of the castle you see there on the island, that's actually Hart Island in Alexandria Bay, New York. We've actually just had a mystery trip last week for caregivers and receivers. It was a dual trip to the island, and everyone really enjoyed themselves. So it provides an opportunity for folks to come out of their, their day-to-day norms, and just have an opportunity to exhale, which is what this project really features. Our goal is to be able to, provide opportunities for people, not just to relax, but also have diverse experiences that help them bring perspective back into their day-to-day lives. And so these trips offer that opportunity. a lot of times when people do want to take breaks, especially our care receivers or caregivers, we find that a lot of times they're not sure where to go or what to plan. And so this is an opportunity for us to surprise them. And we always get great feedback on those trips. So this initiative allows us to really expand this idea. And trips actually, you know, are typically day trips, and they can be anywhere from an hour outside of Erie County up to 3 to 4 hours. But we do try to keep them to a day, and we will provide respite for our care receivers while caregivers are on trips. And we will also be planning some dual trips. So we're very excited about this opportunity to expand this offering through this initiative and be able to have more reach for our folks who really, really need it. So that is really the bulk of our project in a nutshell. You know, one of the things that I really want to emphasize with the project partners is that, you know, again, our Erie County Senior Services, our local office for the aging, has been a long time partner of BFNC, Schiller Park Senior Center, and also North Buffalo Senior Center. Compeer has done a lot of work around the senior and caregiver components. And so we feel that it's a natural progression of, you know, these relationships and really trying to make sure that we're addressing caregiver and care receiver needs as best we can as a collective. Hearts and Hands, I cannot say enough about their volunteer outreach and engagement. They will be very instrumental in helping us with volunteers for the respite programs and also the ministries that will be coming on board. And again, Lisa Rood has a lot of experience around establishing respite programs with faith-based organizations. So her contributions are just really, really important to us. So that is really our project in a nutshell. Again, we feel that, you know, with the holistic approach with case management, access to mental health support services, access to senior services at structured senior centers, and also being able to provide those service linkages is really what makes this project unique. So we're very excited to be able to implement it and appreciate being on as a cohort this year. Any other question?
Thank you so much, Daisy. What an incredibly rich program with lots of different respite opportunities and resources for caregivers and older adults. Of the mystery trips. There was a question about, is transportation provided for mystery trips, and can you accommodate wheelchairs?
So transportation is provided for the mystery trips. And in regards to mobility, we plan the trips based on the folks that anticipate registering. And so we take mobility into account. So if we do have folks that need handicap accessibility, then we would plan the trip based on the handicap accessibility. Obviously, you saw the trip to Alexandria Bay. That trip was for more mobile caregivers and receivers. So, you know, we tailored the trip based on who was going to be participating on the trips, which, you know, allows us to be able to be inclusive and make sure that we're meeting the needs of the participants. As for transportation, again, transportation is provided, meals are provided. The only thing the caregiver or receiver has to do is just show up and we take care of everything else. And so they just get to enjoy the experience and have that memory when they come back. And so we're very excited again to be offering that on a larger scale.
Somebody asked, Lisa Nicholas asked, service area Buffalo only?
Service area is Buffalo, but again, with adding on the faith-based organizations, our goal would be able to provide some in the suburbs and also maybe some rural areas of Erie County.
And an interesting question, what's the purpose for keeping the destination a surprise?
Honestly, it really is, again, about just leaving the planning to us. You know, typically if we open it up, then we limit where folks can go. To give you an example, a lot of our participants, and I can only speak for the senior programs through BFNC, some of our participants may not have ever planned trips outside of Buffalo. So they wouldn't know where to plan or where to go. To give you an example, on Alexandria Bay, we had 3 caregivers that had never been outside of Rochester. So they would, so being able to go to Alexandria Beer, have that experience, again, this provides an opportunity to surprise them. Again, another example would be when we went to the National Comedy Museum. In fact, one of our caregivers was just cried because she had never thought that she would be able to see things surrounding Lucille Ball in Jamestown. And so again, it's just taking folks out of their norm, giving them a new experience and giving them an opportunity to just forget about what's happening at home. You know, all of those same issues will be there when they get back, but this provides an opportunity for us to just, again, provide a new experience, you know, broaden our horizons in terms of what we have access to. And again, just, you know, take care of every detail. So we're taking care of that caregiver and the receiver in the way that they really should be cared for.
Thank you, Daisy. Such a wonderful program.
Thank you.
Any final questions? In the interest of time, we should probably move on. Any final questions? Great feedback. Check out the chat, Daisy. You'll be happy. Okay. You may be wondering, are we going to take a bio break? We're not going to take a formal break so that we have time to get through all the teams today. But if anybody needs to hop off, you know, for a minute, please feel free and then come on back and hear about the other teams. Next, I'd like to invite Matt Holland from United Way to talk about the Orleans and Genesee project.
All right, thank you. Just get the screen share up. All right. Did everyone see that all right? Am I transmitting correctly? Okay.
All set.
Yeah, so this is my name is Matt Holland. I'm with the United Way of Orleans County, and our program is Caregivers Revitalize Orleans, Genesee. This is a collaborative respite program by Community Action Orleans Genesee, Glow YMCA, and the United Way of Orleans County. It kind of came about by all of us were kind of attending the webinars, and you know, we saw each other on there. Greg Reed from YMCA and Katrina Chafee from Community Action. We noticed that we all were on there, and we were like, oh, I wonder what everybody's ideas are. And we quickly got together and found what we thought would be a really good solution for caregivers in the area. And so we put this together. The general program that we have is it's a weekly 3-hour-long respite session. These sessions will be alternating between the YMCA's Medina location and the Albion, New York Community Action Main Street Thrift Store. So those are the two major population centers in Orleans County. There will be a third year where the program expands into Orleans, or expands in Orleans to another community action location, which is the Holly Center, and then 2 more locations in Genesee and a third year expansion. So it's a 3-year program, but the first 2 years just being between Medina and Albion. And these are adult care sessions with free on-site programming for caregivers. So for example, YMCA's facilities could be utilized. Perhaps some organized programming will be done as well, just for care, curated for caregivers, as well as crafting activities at the Main Street thrift store. Alternatively, there could be some drop-off sessions where also caregivers can go and do the things that they're not able to when they're busy caring. So there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of flexibility. We want the programming to take into account what is best for the caregivers in our community. So we're starting out very open-minded as to what's going to be available at each site, what each individual caregiver actually needs. So we're kind of not, we don't have anything specific right now, but we have ideas of what we can provide as services. The program is going to employ a CNA certified and experienced caregiver as a program coordinator. So there's going to be someone on site that's an expert in caregiving. And each location has increased staffing in order to really bolster the program and make sure that there's enough hands on deck. And childcare will be available for caregivers with children at YMCA. And there's going to be a travel compensation voucher program for those caregivers that perhaps transportation is an issue for them. And so we'll be enacting sort of a program there that'll help that out. And reporting and general administration and development support will be done by the United Way of Orleans County. And so it's for those of you that don't actually know the county very well, there's two sites here, Medina and Albion. Those are the first two sites within the 2 years of the program. They're the biggest population centers in the county. And then we'll be spreading east in the third year into Holly and then down into Genesee in that third year. So that's demographics there. And our target caregivers, really, you know, once again, I think we're going to try to be as open-minded as possible with these sessions. You know, of course, first 2 years, we're going to be looking for caregivers residing in Orleans County. And then in the third year, Genesee County. But, you know, these could be aging spousal couples, family caregivers in isolation, these could be opportunities to meet others in the caregiving community, access to wellness programming, access to community action services. All those might benefit, you know, some of our aging caregivers. And then also the sandwich generations could really benefit from the YMCA's programming. They've got the childcare on site there, fitness opportunities, and as well, they could also probably benefit from community action services. So, and really this is just meant to be, there was an older program that when we had done our ideation sessions, we had come across a couple of caregivers who remembered a very similar respite type program that was really successful. And the only reason why it really just didn't continue was that it was at the local town halls and village halls, and they really just had to cut down on staffing, and they couldn't keep the buildings open long enough outside of hours. And so this model has been definitely used in the county before, and it was well received. So we're hoping that a lot of the similar demographic that it used to benefit is going to continue. But I think at this point, you know, we could introduce some of our team. So we've got Community Action of Orleans, Genesee. We've got Katrina Chafee, who's the Director of Community Services and Reporting. I don't know if you want to jump on and say hi.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Katrina, Director of Community Services and Reporting at Community Action. I would just like to point out that our Director of Operations, Jackie, is not able to be on the call today, but I wanted to give a shout out to her because she is my right hand.
Yeah. And Melinda, are you on?
She may have had to step away.
Yeah, I know some of us had to drop off. Is Jessie around from Glow YMCA?
Hi, I'm on. I forgot to
Oh.
unmute.
Hey, Melinda.
Melinda Daniels, Executive Assistant with Community Action of Orleans and Genesee. And I'm just here to support our team.
Thanks, Melinda.
All right. Thanks, Melinda. And Jesse?
Jesse's here. Hi, everybody. I'm Jesse with the Orleans County YMCA. I'm with the Y. I'm here to help.
All right. And is Greg still on? I know he...
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, my name is Greg Reed. I'm the District Executive Director over Genesee and Orleans County. And so it's kind of exciting to see that this program will start in Orleans, but then eventually morph hopefully down to our new Healthy Living campus down in Batavia at the Genesee County Y in its third year. So excited to meet this community need because it's definitely been one that we've seen at the Y for a while.
And I think that's one of the things I'm excited about too, is that we have two nonprofit organizations in Orleans County that also have the capability to expand to Genesee. So that really came together well. We're hoping to be open to the public in January of 2023, but you know, we're keeping an open mind. But yeah, we're planning along. So
Thank you, Matt. That was fantastic. And team, Make sure you check out the chat. There's some great recommendations for outreach contacts from Sherry Pomeroy and also Amanda Nobriga, folks, individuals, resources you guys might want to reach out to for recruiting and operations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Yeah, thank you very much for those suggestions, folks. Any quick questions for this team? Wonderful project. Love the reach. Going once, going twice. Okay, thank you so much, Matt. Wonderful.
Thanks, everyone.
Did it. All right, let's go back to alphabetical order and we'll go with American Cancer Society. Kim McMahon, are you available?
Yep, I am here. Just give me a second to share my screen. I'm a Teams person, so it may take me a second.
Thank you, Kim.
You see my screen okay?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's try this one more time. Oh, I actually have to click share. There we go.
There you go.
Shrink that. That. There we go. Okay, we are super excited at the American Cancer Society to be a part of this program. Now ready to share our project with everybody. Caring for Caregivers. And the American Cancer Society's mission, this project, Caring for Caregivers, fits perfectly into our mission to improve the lives of people with cancer and their families. And before deciding on our project, we held a focus group with caregivers of older adult cancer patients and professionals who work with them. The caregivers really don't think of themselves. So the focus group got caregivers talking because they went into it thinking they're helping out the American Cancer Society. We also avoided terms like respite and used creative questions to draw out the information. So this is just a few examples of some of the top responses, and you'll find they do track right along with probably a lot of what you see, and then definitely with Archangel's responses in Western New York. The American Cancer Society and other cancer fighting organizations in the area provide many of these resources to deal with the, you see on the side, the resources to eliminate challenges that came out of the focus group. We know that there's a lot of organizations in the community that are around fighting cancer, so we decided to collaborate together to address them and make these respite options easy for caregivers to find. So we found caregivers have chunks of time available, like during chemo and radiation treatments. Our project is to consolidate the resources and provide a menu of options that are available when and where caregivers are. We're going to create a central hub of information and resources to guide caregivers to the respite and support opportunities, while also promoting greater collaboration among local caregiver support organizations. The website will be promoted to caregivers through partner organizations and then also through doctors' offices. Providing access to respite and support when and where a caregiver is available is vital. There are going to be options for in-person, virtual, hybrid support. A caregiver may have a couple of hours available while one of their loved ones is receiving treatment. And our website gives the caregiver something to do when they know that their loved one is safe and cared for. Could be watching a video, taking a cooking class, coffee with another caregiver, or learning about navigating insurance. And you see here, Caregiver 101, that's something we will be developing. It's an education and speaker series to draw cancer caregivers toward our respite and support options. Again, come in, learn what it means to be a caregiver for a loved one facing cancer. A lot of people are caregivers are thrown into this whole cancer journey. They're expected to take care of their loved one, and neither one of them know the first thing about cancer, much less caregiving. Let's get them in there. Let's just start having casual conversations, learning, and maybe toss a speaker in. And oh, by the way, this is an informal support group, which when we did our focus group, we heard at the end, we got some feedback, it was so great to be listened to. This was just the best support. I mean, they didn't even realize it was a support program for them. And that's what we're hoping to see again out of Caregiver 101. I'll go back to that. Oh, and lastly, I didn't mention this. We've incorporated companion care into the respite options. So the American Cancer Society believes this is necessary to provide additional support when caregivers feel they need time outside of their scheduled group activities. So we just want to say many thanks to the Jewish Senior Living Well program for accommodating our participants' companion care needs. So if we find there's a respite program, transportation, or caregiving's needed, there will be stipends available through the Living Well companion care. And in case, use an example of someone, a cancer caregiver and patient staying at the American Cancer Society's Hope Lodge, which is where out-of-town cancer patients stay with their caregiver. So they may live more than an hour away from Rochester. They stay with us throughout treatment free of charge. So say the treatment has ended, it's time to go home. When our website is fully functional, they'll be able to go to the website, click their community, and find additional caregiver respite options and support options when they're at home. So once we get working on the website and populating with programs and services, I'm sure we'll be reaching out to many of you on this call today to plug in that info. To begin with, it'll be the greater Rochester area and Western New York. So definitely be reaching out to many of you. And then in year 2, when the website is fully functioned, we're going to reach out beyond Western New York and the greater Rochester area to expand into Central New York, Southern Tier, and then finally develop a toolkit so that it's kind of plug and play. We've gone through the legwork, developed the website, developed Caregiver 101 for a far, just a fraction of the cost. We can roll this toolkit out to Hope Lodge communities across the country. And right now that's 31 communities in total. So it'll give them the opportunity then to expand and try the project in their communities and grow it. And at this point, I just want to acknowledge the team. We've got the American Cancer Society, Cancer Support Community Rochester, Wilmot Cancer Institute, Lipson Cancer Institute, Jewish Senior Life, and Breast Cancer Coalition in Rochester. And I'm not sure how many of the team are on the call, but this would be a great time to pop off mute and introduce yourselves.
And I know I'm from American Cancer Society as well. Nice to meet all of you today and hear all of your projects as well. I know we're so excited, and I'll speak for my coworker Leslie, who is on maternity leave, and I know she is so excited to come back and work with all of you as well.
Sandy, you still on? Jason?
I'm here. Yeah, hi, I'm Sandy Sabatka, senior social worker from the Wilmot Cancer Institute, and we're very eager to partner on this project together. We have a firm commitment to our oncology caregivers and want to see about expanding that and making services more available to everyone. So thanks.
I think that's all of them. And target audience. So we are looking to target caregivers of older adult cancer patients who are staying at the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge. Also caregivers of commuter cancer patients, which would be those within a drivable distance to their treatment centers. And we'll also be targeting surgeon and radiation oncology offices, targeting those communities for as far as marketing our project. Geography for year 1, as I mentioned, greater Rochester area in Western New York, and then year 2, expanding it out to central southern tier, and then eventually the rest of the country. Project launch date has been a little bit fluid, run into, as sure many of you have, a couple unforeseen hurdles. This one happens to be internal here. It's looking like April of 2023. Hopefully I will be clearing this hurdle this week, and then that will look more, definitely like it's a hard start. And then that's it. If anybody has questions.
Thank you, Kim. That was fantastic. We're super excited about expanding support to cancer caregivers, and the geographic reach that your organization has nationally is super exciting as well. Lots of good feedback for you in the chat. Could border state areas be a potential expansion area when you reach beyond Western New York area? Somebody asked.
Yes, that's definitely would be, when I look at like southern tier, that definitely would extend into Pennsylvania. I know at the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge, we have a lot of people staying here from Pennsylvania. So some of those communities, yes.
Thank you. Any quick final questions? Thank you so much, Kim. That was wonderful. Appreciate your team joining today, and excited to see where you guys go with this project. Let's quickly turn to Catholic Health. I think would be next, Lisa Nicholas or Kate.
Sure. Let me get shared here.
Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
Hi. Good morning, everybody. All right, so we are looking to do a weekend respite program for caregivers of older adults. And Catholic Health is the larger organization, but the program that I specifically work for is the Life PACE program, which is an adult care program for participants that live at home but may be in need of more supervised care. So I won't go through all the services, but we provide quite a few services. And why a weekend respite? Well, when we asked our caregivers for input on what would be most helpful, some of the feedback was that they needed transportation to activities. They needed a chance to do things like shopping on their own. Somebody mentioned they wanted to go fishing. We had people say wanted to go to the Y, so shout out to our Y folks. Weekend and evening respite, the response was no one does that. Spend time with friends, go out and have a massage or a spa day. So the common theme was that the greatest need was for evening or weekend respite outside of the typical work hours. Many of our caregivers do work full-time jobs and simply need to do these tasks. They need time to do these tasks and have time for themselves. So the plan is that Catholic Health Life PACE will serve as the host site, the coordinator of the activities, and execute the program with paid staff. The plan is to offer the respite on Saturdays from 10 till 2 at our Villa Maria campus. So we have two sites, currently one at OLV, which is the old OLV hospital, and our newer location at the Villa Maria campus in Cheektowaga, and that is the location we plan on using. There's 2 day centers there, and one is currently not being utilized, so we hope to use that space. The first year, year one, we're hoping to do once a month and hosting 10 participants each, and then each year increase the number of participants that we're able to serve. One of the unique things that we're hoping to offer is transportation. We do have our own drivers, so wheelchairs would be an option. So for people with ambulation issues, that should not be a problem. Or they can certainly choose to, caregivers could drop them off themselves. That's an option too. Our target audience will be self-identified caregivers of older adults in need of supervisory care. And the focus will be on those whose loved ones are not independently mobile or able to self-toilet. So we're fortunate in that we will be able to serve that population. So people that need assistance with toileting, maybe they're in a wheelchair or walker, we will be able to provide that. We'll be serving Erie County, ages 55 and older, although certainly if we got a call from somebody with, say, for an example, early onset dementia or something of that sort, we would consider them as well. And we will be open to our current life members as well as those outside of life and those referred to us by our partners or simply anybody that approaches us about the program. For staffing, the main role player is going to be our program coordinator. They'll be the one that'll be managing all the intake and registering folks, assisting with the reporting on the impact of the program, gathering data. We'll also have an activities coordinator who will be planning, implementing, and supervising activities while they're there at the respite program. We plan to have a 5-to-1 ratio for our HHA or our aides. And then we also do plan on having a driver for those who will need the respite. There's a list of our partner agencies. So we have Hamburg Adult Day Center, Roseanne Whitrick, who was on the call, I'm not sure if she still is. They'll serve as a referral partner and assist in the development and execution of activities. We also have Lisa Rude on board as a referral partner, and hopefully she'll be presenting some activities to our folks like the Tai Chi or some chair massage. We also have Sherry Pomeroy, who was on the call, and CNV Senior Care Specialists. So the center at Villa Maria is very uniquely situated to serve this population. We already have tables and chairs that are appropriate for people with disabilities. Our bathrooms are accessible. We have a lot of DMEs, so we have lifts, we have elevated toilet chairs, all that kind of wonderful stuff. So we plan on offering activities such as crafts, live entertainment, and seated exercise. We will offer a lunch that will be provided by the food service staff at Villa Maria campus. And the caregivers, so this is primarily a drop off or bring in your loved one and to give the caregiver an opportunity to go out and do something. But there will be an opportunity for them to meet with staff, either on site or by phone, to discuss any challenges. So we have several social workers that are very excited about having this opportunity. We may offer some caregiver education sessions as well to them. So this is a picture of the entrance to our site. So we have it's kind of hard to tell, but this awning is a covered walkway. So vans and cars can pull right up. There's no risk of getting wet. And then this is the day center. It's not currently set up for use because we're not utilizing it for this purpose quite yet. And here's a picture of some of the outdoor space. So there is a space outdoors that's secured, it's all fenced in. So our next step is we have a mandatory staff training at the end of this month. I'll be doing a similar presentation to our staff. They're aware of the grant, they're aware we want it. We're awarded it. And so the next step is to present it in more detail to them, reach out to our partners and get those positions filled. The program coordinator position, of course, is key. We'll be working on our marketing materials and working on our intake forms and assessment tools. And we ambitiously are hoping to open by January as well. And if anybody has further info, they can reach out to me. I went through quickly. Any questions?
Thank you very, very much, Lisa. I love that you have Saturday respite opportunity and also reaching some populations of older adults that some others are not able to.
That's the hope.
Toileting and some higher acuity.
Correct.
That's super helpful.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for Lisa. What a wonderful program. See if there's anything in the chat. Let your friends at the Alzheimer's Association know when you are ready for referrals. That's good.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Great.
I'll share it with the whole group.
Thank you. Yeah, please do. That's
Okay.
what the forum is for.
Okay, great.
Go live, let the world know.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Lisa? Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Okay, let's turn to Jill O'Hara from Healthy Alternatives Through the Healing Arts.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you. Absolutely thrilled to be here, and I'm loving everything that I'm hearing. People are working on so many awesome projects. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so I'm Jill O'Hara. Excuse me. I'm with an organization called Healthy Alternatives Through Healing Arts, or HAHA, as it's commonly referred to. We're a nonprofit that's been around for over 20 years now. It was originally established by its founder, Kathy Lynch, whose mother had mental health diagnosis. And they used many alternative methods to help her to a place of healing and a place of peace, really. And with that experience, Kathy decided to start the HAHA Project because she knew the mental health community really had to, maybe expand. That holistic approach is much more helpful. We want to deal with the mind, the body, and the spirit, the environment. Our care doesn't just revolve around seeing a physician and getting a prescription. So she got this together, and we've been going strong for 20 plus years. And it really started off serving those with a mental health diagnosis who were financially disadvantaged, as well as their professional caregivers, providing workshops, annual conference that generally we were having about maybe 300 people attend each year. And it was always it's always been something people look forward to. They're offered a variety of different programs that they can go to throughout the day, a lot of them. And it really was all about empowering patients and promoting choice through alternative or complementary therapies that were not, considered traditional. And we're basically, looking to help maintain wellness and assist recovery, offering, knowledge and information that they might not have access to. So when this opportunity came along, which was really awesome the way it happened, it was almost a fluke that I ended up being in, attending the programs. And all I kept thinking was that, this would be a perfect fit for us. Okay, we're all about getting out there and helping the community. And if caregivers don't fall under the mental health diagnosis of stress and or anxiety, I don't know any population that does. Okay, they're dealing with stressful situations day in and day out of their lives. So the Exhale Project is going to be allowing us to expand our reach to family caregivers of the elderly in our community, which is fantastic. It may also reach some of the recipients of care as well. We will be providing mobile respite programs. And what I mean by that is we've partnered up right now with the YMCA in Southtowns, People Incorporated, and Cradle Beach, as well as community senior centers, things like that, churches, where we'll be going and offering holistic workshops, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours of a mini retreat versus a program. And we'll be bringing holistic opportunities for people to learn tools to help them to reduce their stress and in the long run, increase the resiliency. We are looking to just offer people an opportunity to come and spend time away from their, their loved ones, although we are welcoming the loved ones, okay, if it's appropriate for them to come to the programs as well. And spend the day, that couple hours, 4 hours with us, and learn tools that can help to reduce their stress levels. But then be able to take those same tools and take them home with them so that they can utilize them anytime that they're feeling like they just need a little breather from something. The things that we really hope to accomplish with this is not just a short-term, one-day thing. We really are looking to help the caregivers have a increased quality of their own lives, as well as being helpful to their family members. They can utilize these stress reduction techniques on a daily basis and, just improve their overall well-being. Having partnered with the organizations, we're hoping to really get out there in the community. It's going to be a little different from everything else I'm hearing, which, like I said, I'm hearing some absolutely amazing things. We'll be starting with one program, a 2-hour program a month, and a 4-hour mini retreat over the first 6 months. Then we'll be increasing the number of programs that we provide, eventually getting to 12 to 14 on a monthly basis, all throughout Erie County. And I really, we'll be offering things, for example, laughter yoga wellness, teaching them meditation, gentle yoga, simple things that they can even do sitting in a chair, aromatherapy, art therapy, sound healing. We have a group here in Western New York. I don't know if many people are familiar with that, but the Holistic Alliance of Western New York, we have about 1,500 practitioners within that group. So we'll be offering a whole wide range of programs for people to, help them in just every way possible, that we can, to reduce stress and just improve maybe the way they think. A lot of times our thoughts are what rule our lives, and helping them to understand that their thoughts are kind of almost creating the reality. All right, so if all we're focusing on is all the negatives, then we're not allowing room for the positives. So we're going to begin, helping them to understand that process as well. The grant will be allowing us to not only get out and market the programs that we're doing, but I think the biggest thing is we'll be able to have all these presenters, and they will be paid through the grant program, which doesn't maybe sound like much, but to those in the holistic community who have been offering their services for free, many of us for 20 plus years, that's a big deal. I have an absolutely amazing team working with me. I'm currently the president of HaHa, and with me today, we have all but one of our board members, and the, excuse me, Ron Pingray. He is a fantastic person. He's a peer-to-peer specialist. He's worked with many organizations throughout the area for years now. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here today, but we do have Karen Kolarski. Karen, if you'd like to pop in here for a minute.
Oh, ho, ha, ha, ha. Hi, everybody. I'm Karen Kolarski, and I'm a certified laughter yoga teacher, a retreat facilitator, and I'm really thrilled to be part of this whole endeavor, this journey that we're all on together. It's really exciting, and very excited to see how we're going to be able to bring some really awesome services to our caregivers in this area. Lighten them up.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, we have Carolyn Zimmerman. Carolyn, are you hiding?
I was
He's here somewhere.
I was trying to unmute. Zoom is about the only thing that can keep me quiet. I'm Carolyn Zimmerman, endorsed Health Rhythms drum circle facilitator through Remo percussion. That's my passion, bringing music to the masses, music making. I've experienced magical things with making music with every population imaginable. So I'm proud and so excited to be a part of the Exhale Project and a board member of HaHa. I've been a practitioner presenting at HaHa conferences for over 10 years, and I can't wait to collaborate with everyone on here. It's like my heart is racing, my rhythms are going, and I'm going to hand it off to the next person.
Okay, quickly, we also have Mary Jo Alessio.
Hi, I think I unmuted myself. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Aha, I am very happy and honored to be here to be part of the Healthy Alternatives Through Healing Arts for AHA. I am an RN that primarily has worked in behavioral health. I've been exposed to DBT training, dialectical behavioral training, CPI, a form of de-escalation training, all sorts of motivational interviewing. I've been very involved in the health and healing and wellness community, including the organization that you mentioned earlier, Jill, and someone else was asking about it, the Holistic Alliance of Western New York. So and they're very involved in the community as well. And I'm very happy to be here. All of these programs sounded just absolutely awesome and exciting and much needed in the community from many different perspectives. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think Dory Richardson may be here, but I see that our time is pretty much wrapping up. Dory is also part of our team. She's an RN with 30 years plus of psychiatric nursing, as well as yoga, etc. Anyway, we are happy to have anyone reach out to us if you would like information, if you would like to be kept up to date. We will be launching our website, healthyalternativeshaha.com, on October 17th. So you can go there and find out where we'll be and what we'll be doing. And again, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Jill and team. And also feel free to reach out to Jill if you want to have the HaHa team come to your facility to provide services. That's another way that we can cross-pollinate these programs. So thank you so much. Let's keep moving along. I want to make sure we have time for all the teams. Let's go with Lifespan. Doris Green, are you here?
I am here. So
Hi, Doris.
Let me just quick share my screen. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we don't have a catchy name yet, but we are Monroe County. We're grateful that this county was added to the Exhale cohort this year. So thank you for that. And our plan is to develop a partnership to develop drop-in respite. And this is just a quick snapshot of our foresight with Teresa. We have a great team. However, we realize that we are a team of high implementers. So we are an energetic team, and I'm going to introduce them to all of you. The partnership team is Lifespan of Greater Rochester. Myself, I don't have Sharon on there, Sharon Cackett as well. We are with the New York State Caregiving and Respite Coalition. And then we have Katie and Hannah, who are with the Finger Lakes Caregiver Institute at Lifespan. St. John Fisher University, Emily and Kristen, and the Southwest Area Neighborhood Association, Pat Jackson. Since most of us are high implementers, I'm going to let them speak for themselves and introduce themselves. So the idea really is to develop a drop-in respite in an underserved community in Rochester. And as I said, and I'm just going to throw this to Sharon because our part in this is to be the lead of the project, but also providing consistent and evidence-based training to all our volunteers. So Sharon, would you like to introduce yourself and take us?
Sure. Thanks, Doris. Sharon Cackett with the coalition. Just quickly, we have 2 respite provider training options. One is our newest initiative. It is the respite care provider training. It's a free online training program. It consists of 10 courses for individuals who are interested in providing respite care or volunteers who are providing respite care. These courses provide information to meet the respite care professionals' core competencies set by the ARCH National Network. And they're meant to really serve as a baseline for folks who are giving respite care. New York has our own online training portal set up, and it includes state-specific information. And we love it because it's going to build consistency and competency across respite providers across the state. It's also available as an app on smartphone, and it takes about 7.5 hours to complete. The follow-up from that will be in the next month or 2, where we'll be launching our respite provider registry. So all those folks who complete this certification or any programs whose volunteers or staff complete the certification program can be listed in that registry, so caregivers can find providers and programs just like the ones we're talking about today all across the state. And the second training program we have is the Respite Education and Support Tools, which is a really highly interactive in-person training, really designed for those programs that are intact, sort of a team of volunteers who are working together to deliver respite. And that's between those 2 programs, we'll be using those for our respite project in the Rochester area with St. John Fisher. And we just make sure, you know, they're available to anyone who's interested in using the training program. I actually we'll put it right in the chat for you to take a look at. So,
thanks, Sharon. Emily, would you like to pop in?
Sure. So our role at St. John Fisher University will be several different layers, including working with the student scholars, the programs that I've overseen and that are about 25 years old. We have about 150 scholars every year that are out in community on a weekly basis. So we'll be recruiting some of those scholars along with from the greater campus. And then we'll also be having a faculty fellow and student researcher component to help build and evaluate the programming, along with a toolkit that we will be creating so that it can be offered out to other higher ed institutions to replicate.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. Katie, are you there? Katie?
I'm here. Sorry, trying to find my mouse to unmute.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Ellen. I'm the division leader for caregiver services here at Lifespan. We provide program supports and services, everything from care management to wellness to respite to education, support groups, etc. In the 9-county Finger Lakes region to caregivers caring for people with dementia, and in Monroe County to caregivers of any older adult. Our role, we're really excited to work with NYSERC, St. John Fisher, and SWAN. So our role, we've been working with community agencies to develop drop-ins for the past several years. So we're hoping that some of that experience can mix in with Sharon and Doris's experience and help SWAN help us build this. But then we will be hiring the coordinator. So the coordinator will be part of what we call Flossie, the Flossie team, to be on site, but also recruiting community volunteers, working with St. John Fisher University, and really kind of having somebody dedicated to get this up and running and ongoing.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie. Pat, are you there? She told me she was here.
I saw her earlier, her name on here.
So SWAN is the Southwest Area Neighborhood Association, and they will be providing the space as well as helping us to recruit family caregivers for this project. It is a very racially heavy in the Black community. It's very low income area. They have a very high percentage of need. And are you there, Pat? Because she would be the best one to do that. But anyway, They have a senior nutrition program there, so we'll be able to utilize that to provide meals for our participants, and the program coordinator will provide and manage all the activities. So we're very excited about this. We're excited about working with St. John Fisher University because they're taking the lead in making this toolkit so that we can use it to replicate throughout the state, which would be, and the, nation. Let's think big because we are implementers. And I just want to say to everyone, there's just a ton of great ideas here. The New York State Caregiving and Respite Coalition has a statewide reach. We'd love to advertise your programs for you and get those resources out there to all sorts of folks across the state. So I think that's it.
Thank you. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Everything will be posted on our website after today's after today's session. So that's a great place I'll connect you to that, Doris, and take whatever you can and share with the world.
Great.
Any questions for Doris and her team? What a fabulous project. I love the partnership, the community organization, university, and Lifespan. Any questions for Doris? Thank you, guys. This is a wonderful project with a ton of potential. I think people are recognizing the hour and that we need to move on, but thank you so much. This is great. How about St. John's?
Hello, I will share my screen and
thanks, Anne.
Hopefully we'll get started here. Can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, St. John's is actually collaborating with Lifespan to open a dementia resource center, which will be an on-site physical center offering programs and activities for people living with dementia, as well as will offer extensive resources and amenities to benefit caregivers. So just want to tell you a little bit about the partners. St. John's is a residential nonprofit organization. We've been open in Rochester since 1899. We are partnering with Lifespan, who's been open for over 50 years, and specifically their Finger Lakes Caregiver Institute, which specifically supports caregivers for people living with dementia. So on the team, myself, I'm Executive Director of St. John's Foundation. Jennifer Lazinski is with us here today. She's Vice President of Marketing. And we're working closely with Katie Allen, Division Leader of Lifespan Finger Lakes Caregiving Institute, who you just met. And we're very happy to be working with Lifespan on this. So why the Dementia Resource Center? As you know, with demographics and the graying of America, there are 5 million Americans currently diagnosed with Alzheimer's or a form of dementia, and that number will only grow in the near future. By 2025 is expected to exceed 7 million. The challenge we've identified is that there's the majority of people living with dementia are cared for by a family member who has been thrust into the role and maybe does not have, training or a support system. In our area alone, we estimate that there's over 100,000 people who are caregivers for older adults living with dementia. So in response, we've collaborated and we plan to establish the Dementia Resource Center. We both have decades of experience caring for older adults. We employ many people who are highly skilled at caring for people with dementia. And we feel that we want to share this experience with the community and offer support. St. John's has several independent living apartments. We have our nursing home, our flagship location in the city, as well as a greenhouse. But the resource center will be located at our urban campus and will offer a range of services to caregivers, including care management, training, educational resources, activities, and amenities, as well as a technology center, which I'll tell you more about. But we want to make sure that that the older adults receive good care, as well as that their caregivers receive support. So the plan is to be a haven for dementia at-home caregivers by offering one central location for programs, amenities, education, service coordination for both the caregiver and their loved one. We will include training programs, care management, referrals and support. Events and activities will be offered. We will open a sensory room, a technology center. We have in place a swimming pool, a beauty barber shop, as well as we have an on-site, we have on-site educational resources. We plan to offer these services at no cost to caregivers and their loved ones. The audience, of course, is at-home caregivers and people with dementia. And a recent survey that Lifespan carried out with 31 at-home caregivers has informed these plans and helped us to see what we would like to include. Okay. What the Exhale initiative really helped us to do, for years, St. John's has focused on, the resident, and this program really helped us to focus more on the caregiver. What can we offer the caregiver that they, may need in their lives? So what came out loud and clear from the survey was that people really do want a drop-in respite program. So we do hope to recruit a drop-in respite staff person and to offer a drop-in program at least twice a week for half day, and expand that later as the program grows. And the drop-in program will be available. We do have hopefully educational programs and wellness programming going on for caregivers, as well as it'll be available for those who maybe want to come in and make use of our beauty or barber shop, or use the swimming pool or fitness center that we have down the road at our independent living apartments. The Exhale initiative will also provide support for the Dementia Resource Center coordinator, and this will be a staff person who will refer and schedule visitors to the drop-in care, as well as, let them know of the activities and programs that are going on that day or that week. And that person will also refer caregivers to care management with the Lifespan care manager. We will also have, as part of the center, a technology center and a sensory room. The technology center is based on the Thrive Center that is in Kentucky, and we will have equipment such as the IN2L, It's Never Too Late computer system, which we heard about earlier, as well as we will have simple music players. We will have some virtual reality instruments and other technology equipment that caregivers and their loved ones may try out. Someone who was thrust into this position may not know that there are these technology equipment with features that can really engage their loved one or help themselves as well. Okay, and I mentioned the Lifespan care manager. The initiative will also support this position so that when the caregiver comes in, they can meet one-on-one with the care manager, receive a full assessment of what's going on in their lives. And the manager will provide information and referrals to community programs, and hopefully work on an individualized care plan with the caregiver and help coordinate programs that can improve the caregiver's skills. Also, what the Exhale initiative will support is supplies and upkeep for the sensory room, which again can help the person with dementia or the caregiver to relax, using lighting, sounds, aromas, and cues that help engage or calm the users, as well as can maybe provide some excitement and enthusiasm for someone who maybe needs a little bit more engagement. The initiative will also support vouchers for haircuts or colors in our beauty and barber shop, as well as vouchers to use the fitness room and the swimming pool. And we'll support transportation to and from the Dementia Resource Center, or from the nursing home to St. John's Meadows Independent Living Community, where folks can enjoy some of the services there. We do have activities that are ongoing. We do have a gift shop, library, cafe, and we do have ongoing chapel services and musical performances. And these may be activities, if you're caring for a loved one at home with dementia, you may be fearful of going out in public or taking that loved one to a church service or a restaurant, because you're afraid that they'll act out. Well, that kind of thing happens here all the time. We're very used to that. So we really want to welcome people to come in and use those services. And, it will, remove the stigma of nursing homes, as well as can offer them a lot of the activities and amenities that we do have going on every day. As far as the timeline goes, we do have a digital dementia resource center, which is active now. It's an online resource 24/7 with articles and blog posts and videos and content to help caregivers. It has a neat Ask Mimi feature where you can ask Mimi a question. Mimi is a real person. She's on staff as our dementia resource specialist. And she has fielded a lot of questions and offered advice every day. So we are receiving more than 150 hits per month. So again, this tells us there is a need for support and information. This is kind of the first step in our Dementia Resource Center, serving people online. We do hope to make the physical center a reality in 2023. Renovations will need to take place. Some of that will be carried out by our own buildings and grounds staff, but we are working with an architect and a contractor to turn what is currently meetings and office spaces into this floor plan here. You can't see that very well, but there's the training classroom, the technology center. This will be the sensory room, and the staff members' offices here. So
Wrap
hopefully
up
that.
pretty soon, Ann.
Pardon me?
We need to wrap up soon, Ann.
Okay, almost done. Okay, and that's pretty much it. We're very excited about opening the Dementia Resource Center, and we're very, very thankful for the support of the Exhale Initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann. Wonderful program. Lots of good feedback in the chat. Make sure you take a look. Let's go to the next speaker, YMCA Niagara Buffalo. We have someone from that team.
Hello, we are here.
Hi, Juliana.
Hi. We will be like the quickest presentation.
Thank you. We need to make up a little time here.
Yeah, don't worry. My name is Juliana. I'm the wellness director at the South Towns Family YMCA. We are part of YMCA Buffalo Niagara, and I have Sue Kincaid with me as well. She's our program specialist, and I will share my screen. One second. Why is this not giving me the option?
There you go.
Perfect. Okay, so we are going to talk about our Encourage Benefit for Both program. It is going to be operated by myself and Marla Walker, who's our program manager. Sue Kincaid's our program specialist, and then we have Christina Phillips, who will be our program facilitator. And our Encourage program is a companion-based, non-medical adult day respite program for adults that experience symptoms of or are diagnosed with early to moderate stage dementia. We will be holding our program once a month for year one. It's from 10:30 a.m. till 2:30 p.m., so a 4-hour block for that specific respite program. Caregivers may stay and utilize the YMCA facility, or they may leave during the program to attend to these items that they may need to, or also just take a break. And then in the sustainability and enhancement plan, we will be looking at memberships to the Y for the caregivers to utilize outside of our respite program. And then also the add-on is going to be a caregiver program that will run concurrently with our respite program. So their loved one is being supervised while we can provide them educational resources, elder care consultations, and then social support activities as well. That will be developed on an ongoing process, as well as with feedback from the caregivers from our community and our program. So our program details is just that we go through a couple steps before they join us for our respite program. The prospective caregivers and potentially their loved one, if appropriate, will meet individually with our program manager or specialist prior to attending their first respite. That's where we'll go through the feasibility steps of if they're appropriate. Then our program specialist and our facilitator will plan out the monthly session activities, secure all the supplies, confirm our catered lunch and our take-home meal for the participant, as well as the vendors joining us for that session. Volunteer attendance is confirmed prior to each session to assign roles and companions. So our program runs very heavily with volunteers, where we strive to have a 1-to-1 ratio. So every participant is going to have a buddy with them. That means we are going to have about 10 to 15 volunteers per session. Those volunteers fully go through the YMCA volunteer onboarding process. So they are screened with a background check, a reference check. We have a lot of trainings that they go through as well to be a fully cleared person to work with our members. The partnerships that we have for our program, 716 Fresh is a local place in our Southtowns area where they're going to be providing our catered lunch for each session, and each participant in our respite program will go home with a healthy prepared meal, as food was a big factor in our focus groups of things that caregivers needed help with. Lisa Rude, who we've all talked about, most of us throughout this time, she's also going to be helping us continuously. We are working with Elder Transition Consulting. Anne-Marie Klasko is a senior move manager. Hearts and Hands, we are going to work with to explore transportation opportunities. We are working with HaHa as well, Erie County Department of Senior Services, and the Alzheimer's Association Western New York chapter for referrals. And they have been providing us the trainings for our staff and volunteers of working with those with dementia and Alzheimer's. Our service area, it really spans pretty vast. We have, we're based in, our address is actually West Seneca, but it's the West Seneca Orchard Park border. But we serve West Seneca, South Buffalo, into the city of Buffalo, Orchard Park, Alma, Lancaster, East Aurora, and then even further south with Marilla, Hamburg, Boston, Colden, and Springville. We seek to reach caregivers of any age themselves, but with an adult loved one who's displaying symptoms of or that diagnosis of early to moderate stage dementia. We also do have Child Watch available and some daycare services for our sandwich generation caregivers to be able to provide additional resources of having someone watch everyone that they need to be watched so that they can take care of any needs that they have. And our respite program soft launch is actually going to be next month, November 2022. We are just going to do November, December, a pretty in-house operation. So just using our YMCA staffing and volunteers and our partnership with 716 Fresh for that lunch portion. But then we will have a grand program launch starting in January 2023, where that's where we will start to schedule out our vendors and start the assessment for our concurrent caregiving program. And that's it for us.
Thank you, Juliana. It's a fabulous program. And I love that there's 2 Ys involved in Excel. You guys should compare notes and see what's working. Yes. Any quick questions for this team? Thank you, guys. Wonderful presentation, and I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
So that was our Western New York teams. Now let's turn our attention to our Michigan teams. Chelsea Senior Center, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Let me share my screen.
Thanks,
I'm one
Lisa.
of- Yeah, I'm one of the many Lisas on this show here today on this webinar. All right, so I'm Lisa Klinkman from the Chelsea Senior Center, and our team is going to be helping older adults and their caregivers to ease the day with respite care opportunities. I will talk about each of our partners in a moment. Basically, we are going to be starting a hub to serve family caregivers with a variety of respite care opportunities in rural Western Washtenaw County, Michigan. And because no one size fits all, we will offer a variety of options to caregivers who engage with our Ease the Day Hub, which will launch the first quarter of 2023. These family caregivers that we see at the Chelsea Senior Center every day will be older adults, spouses, siblings, and sandwich generation people. In a nutshell, what we'll be doing is we'll be triaging care in 3 different ways. We'll be having the on-site Ease the Day respite at the Chelsea Senior Center. 2 of our partners, Catholic Social Services and Jewish Family Services, will be providing in-home respite care of varying levels. And then we've got our partners, which really will be very important for referrals and connections to community organizations who can provide longer-term respite care or meet other caregiver needs as they arise. All right, let's see if I can go to the next slide. How do I go? There we go. All right, so real briefly, on-site social respite is called Ease the Day, which is also the name of the overall initiative. It will start 2 days a week on the Chelsea Senior Center's campus. It will be provided at no cost to caregivers. Free will donations of time, talent, or money will be accepted not only from caregivers or from community members. We know there are people that are musical. We invite them to come in and bring their talents. Trained volunteers will power Ease the Day. This is really Chelsea's superpower. We have over 1,000 members and many community volunteers who enable our over 250 activities every month to really run smoothly. Then we've got Silver Maples of Chelsea, and our team is led by Julie Deppner and Samantha Snyder. If you are there, you can turn on your videos. They will help to work as we build the on-site program. They'll help devise and implement our intake assessment tool, share programming ideas, provide other consultations, and help further define our service limits. All right. Then we are going to expand in-home respite. Catholic Social Services of Washtenaw County, led by Casey Kerr and Jeanette Matthews, has a successful existing model called the Volunteer Caregiver Respite Program, and it matches trained volunteers to individuals and families at no cost, and volunteers provide non-medical companionship respite care. And they will expand it into the western part of our county by helping us train and recruit volunteers who may also work in our on-site respite care Ease the Day. Jewish Family Services, led by Jill Kind and Roberta Hershon, will provide they currently provide older adults care and coordination through a program called CARES. And they will be expanding this program into the western part of the county, coordinating care with a local agency that will provide no-cost care with an agency that will provide no-cost in-home companion and personal care, such as bathing, dementia care, and chronic condition care. They will also provide caregiver consultations and online support groups. And last but not least, what's really important are those community connections that we're going to be making. As I said before, no one size fits all. And so it's going to be important to keep community connections and really work together. So for example, if somebody wants a longer term respite care, we will refer them to perhaps Silver Maples or other organizations who can do that extended care. And Chelsea Hospital Ministerial Alliance, led by Patty Bin, will help us to make connections with faith-based organizations to attract caregivers and their loved ones in need of these services, and also to recruit volunteer caregivers. So on behalf of the Chelsea Senior Center team, Bill O'Reilly, Jennifer Smith, and myself, we'd like to thank all the Ease the Day team. I'm not going to take the time to read everybody's name, but I do want to give a shout out to Shannon Etchberry's team at the University of Michigan's Silver Club. Even though we're not formal Exhale partners, she and her team are very generous, sharing ideas with us for how to implement a successful adult day respite program. And thanks to our funders for helping us to help caregivers to ease the day with respite care opportunities.
Thank you, Lisa. That was awesome. And I love the hub model and how you are incorporating a wide range of respite types into what you're offering and reaching out to the community to create a network. That's great. Let's quickly go to the next team, which is Shannon Etcheberry's team. Shannon, are you here?
I am. Yes, and thank you, Lisa, for that shout out. Very happy to help. Okay, so
all set.
All right. So again, I'm Shannon. I work for the University of Michigan with the Silver Club Memory Programs. We are an adult day program for people with dementia. And our partners are Catholic Social Services and Jewish Family Services of Washtenaw County. So Lisa spoke a little bit that there is some overlap between our two projects using those resources as well that I'll talk about in a moment. So we are working to provide respite for individuals, so for family caregivers of older adults. So Silver Club, we focus more on folks with dementia, but we're, a lot of these opportunities will be available to anybody. So that's just where we're located, our website and whatnot. So here's just a few pictures of some of our fun activities that we do with the center for individuals with varying stages of memory loss. So mentioned here are some of our partners. So some of the same partners that were mentioned previously with Catholic Social Services and Jewish Family Services. So our goal is to do some social events for caregivers and to provide some options for respite, either at Silver Club if their individual has dementia, or with one of the at-home options with Catholic Social Services or JFS. So we're looking at things like going to local museums or gardens, having transportation provided by JFS, also looking at expanding into some educational sessions that would be helpful for caregivers as well, where respite is included at Silver Club if they don't have some place for their loved one to go. Also some social and networking opportunities, just a chance for caregivers to get together and have a good time and be around other people who get it. So one of the things that we found is that there are places that do this kind of programming, maybe not so much the social, but that built-in respite piece is kind of the barrier for folks, that they don't have supervision for their loved ones. So we're trying to fill that gap. So I think I pretty much mentioned, I know we're short on time, but some of our partner organization, what their roles are going to be. And so in addition, Catholic Social Services is going to be expanding their chore service to help people out in the home. So that way that hopefully gives the individual some a different kind of respite, but time for them to do some things that are not things around the house. And then JFS is going to be doing some care consultations as well. So we're hoping for this to be implemented early 2023 once we get staff hired and get some planning in place, and looking forward to working with everybody here.
Thank you, Shannon. It sounds like a very comprehensive program in a different part of the county, which is great. Let's give Ypsilanti Meals on Wheels our last 5 minutes here. Thank you so much, Allison. Thanks for waiting. And next time you'll get to go first.
We're very used to going last with the Y name. So we're Ypsilanti Meals on Wheels. We're on the other side of the county. So we're on the eastern side. We're a lower opportunity organization. I'm going a little low tech to keep myself faster. So of course, we've always been more than a meal, providing a lot of additional support services to older adults and their caregivers in our community. Caregiver support is a little bit new for us, but it came out of a lot of the projects we had been doing recently, noticing that when we were going in to provide clinical support, that many of the caregivers needed support so that they, when they're working with the older family member or a friend, they were harming themselves sometimes in the way they were helping people transfer. So we knew we wanted to start supporting the caregivers. And that's where we came up with the idea for Care on Wheels. And our program is to support caregivers and the seniors. We are going to come into the home. So again, much like Meals on Wheels, Care on Wheels will come to them. We are going to provide access to in-home chore or care companion support for the household. Laundry support, if it's needed, can be external. We know some of our clients are renters and they may not have laundry facilities. So we will have a laundry option where we take that for them and bring it back to them. We also plan to offer handyman services for home modification and durable medical equipment to help them ease the chore burden for the caregiver and to help them safely perform tasks from transferring to toileting for the older adults they may be assisting. We will also provide supplemental support with a few of our clinicians. We have nursing support who might help with medication management and oversight, mood management for both the older adult and the caregiver. We will have social workers who will help with case management, wraparound support for any benefits support that they need. And most importantly, we will be providing an occupational therapist who will help oversee the installations of handyman services for durable medical equipment and assistive devices. All of our clinicians will be working as educators and goal setting. So the goal is to be very client-centered and very caregiver-centered in this model. Clients will be offered the opportunity to have a short-term intervention, meaning they just might need the home modification and some OT support, or they can be part of a longer support intervention where we might work with them for 6 months to a year. And part of that is they would get in-home caregiver companionship support between 1 to 6 hours per month at their choosing. So it gives them that opportunity to decide if a Tuesday is great. And as we heard a lot, weekend time. So if they choose to have weekend respite care time, this will then become their option to pick that on demand. Chore support is going to be provided through a provider called Seniors Helping Seniors. So again, we'll be employing older adults to assist older adults who might be wanting to earn extra income. We will be working with partners at Catholic Social Services of Washtenaw County and a for-profit entity called Disability Made Easy, who will be supporting the home modifications and some of other little maybe side items they might need to have repaired in the home. Other partners we will have will also be a provider called Laundry Care, and they are a service provider. It's actually a student laundry program. So again, students are hired, they do the laundry, they then bring it back to our providers. We aim to reach out not only to our own client base, but to a few underserved communities in our area. And that would be the New West Willow Neighborhood Association, because we are also trying to focus on how we see community caregivers. We know many neighbors are informal caregivers for older adults, especially in some of the neighborhoods surrounding our Ypsilanti community. And they go a long way to help each other in that neighborhood. We also are going to work with another neighborhood called the Sugarbrook Neighborhood Association as well. Our staff is a clinical staff. Kelly Childs is our occupational therapist and an admin. Amber Delvick, who's on the call, is our nurse for the program. And then Kat Fernando, who is on the call, and I believe Lauren Halter, they are our social workers for the case management. And then we also have an additional OT named Bridget Daly, who will be who is part of the team to assist. Our services are designed to provide that opportunity for the older adult and the caregiver to work together to make home improvements. An example of that is we had a client who's recently discharged, And they wanted to be able to stand when they urinated rather than sitting on the toilet. And the family was adamant they didn't want a sit chair or anything like that. So the OT came in, worked with some coloring of the wall behind them so that there was better contrast, and then using the blue toilet tabs so that we knew exactly where we're targeting to go to the restroom. So those are those things. The older adults, family members didn't want to have to deal with transferring, and the older adult wanted the dignity and pride to be able to have that function in the bathroom. And that's the same concept we want to bring all across the board for how caregivers and older adults remain to have access to in the community and remain be able to have dignity in the care and services that they receive. So that's Care on Wheels in a nutshell, also known as COW.
Allison, that's fabulous and such a unique and interesting perspective on respite with a wide range of, different types of services that we haven't heard about today. So we're super excited to see what you all learn. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. I have, just bear with me for one more second. I just have one more slide I want to go through. Can you see my deck here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So if you could email me your PowerPoint from today, I would greatly appreciate it. What we're going to do is post them on the website so that folks can have a place to go back and refer to each other's projects. I'll also be sending out a list of all the projects and the key contact for each project so you can all be in touch with each other. Please also reach out to Teresa Lawrence if you haven't already, so you can start working on your work plan and your foresight team profile with Teresa. That will be a lot of fun. The work plans, we're asking if you can submit them by November 18th to me by email. Really just the purpose is to get a better understanding of what your goals are and your timeline. And then also after today, please be reaching out to Linda Weiss in the New York Academy of Medicine evaluation team. They will help you design your evaluation plan so that you're ready to hit the ground running with whatever evaluation data collection you need to have in place before you launch. So those are sort of our next steps. I want to underscore what an amazing celebration of breadth of respite opportunities that are now emerging throughout Western New York and Southeast Michigan. It's super exciting to hear what you all are doing. We have over 60 organizations involved in this work and well over 100 people involved in this work, creating a network of support for caregivers throughout the regions. So I want to thank you for this phenomenal work and for your presentations today. I appreciate especially our Michigan teams who got 5 minutes instead of 6. Next time we will have you guys go first, and stay tuned. I'll be sending out some more information, and please send me your PowerPoint so we can get those posted today. I've got time, so if there's any final comments or questions or anything anybody wants to chime in, I'm all ears. I know some folks will need to hop off. Any thoughts, observations, comments? We've had a lot of great chat comment today, which has been wonderful. Looks like
Lisa, I just to pipe in. Just wanted to pipe in and say we're excited on the Archangel side to work with whomever wants to, come on board in terms of looking at intensity for their individual program. These programs are also awesome. We're excited to support in any way.
Thank you, guys, and Sarah, and also last week, I believe it was, we sent out a little information poll for you, for the team leads to respond on your thoughts about the Caregiver Intensity Index and to see if you'd like to set up a conversation with Sarah. So they're very ready and willing to have those conversations, to think through your programs, help design a way of using the caregiver intensity that would make sense for you. So feel free to reach out to Sarah as well. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been a whirlwind event. Appreciate all the wonderful presentations, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you. Take care, guys.
You.
Thank you very much.